results in an offside whistle. Early in period 3, it's 3.
Edmonton sloppy with the puck. They could be eliminated tonight on home ice. Winnipeg goes ahead. Greg Pawlowski beats Rail Ruotsalainen and then beats goalie Bill Ranford with the shot. 2-1 Winnipeg in period number 2. Now back to Chicago.
Roy Murray, Greg Gilbert, and Jocelyn Lemieux against Gagne, Barber, and Bellows. Here's the draw. Brown in his own end swings it around the boards, and Tenorti has it at center to Wilkinson. His pass stolen by Conroy, throwing it in deep. Lemieux looks to center. Gagne stole it. And now Wilkinson flips it to center ice. Back comes Lemieux in over the line on the left side. Shooting Casey! Oh, an alert glove save and a rising slapper by Lemieux. Casey went down and then to reach up with a sweeping gloved hand motion.
You saw him in a few games making the save with a glove hand but not being able to hold on to it. That one, though, he had to hold on. If he doesn't get it all, it might go in behind him. But Lemieux with a blast going high as Casey went down on one knee, and he reached back and held on. Momentum almost put his arm in behind him.
John Casey, who was born in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, playing for his home state team. Hopefully they will still be his home state team next year. Well, I would too. I think they'll still be there too, and I hope that will be the case.
You would know San Jose would be nice.
Now here's the draw. Goulet to the corner, pushed it in behind the net. Aaron Broughton chips it back to center. Now Goulet able to advance it. Wilkinson to Aaron Broughton, dumping it in. Wilson behind the net, nearly had a little difficulty. Now whacked it ahead to Larmer. For Savard. Dennis Savard steps in over the line, shoots one right on, and a save by Casey. Rebound Giles. Kurt Giles now motors over the Chicago line, stopping, shooting, and Millen kicks it into the near corner. Taken there by Manson. Manson back over the North Star line. Got it behind the net as Chicago changes players. Here's Paul Stalin. Flipping it back into the Blackhawks zone. Thomas ahead to Roenick. Racing over the North Star line. Kicked it to his stick. Now right around to Checo. And he lost it at the last second as he eluded Murphy, but then mishandled it. Now under the near side. Bellows got a hit from Presley, couldn't get it out. Here's Roenick battling in loose center. One deflects away to Bellows. And here come the North Stars. Bellows over the Hawk line, drops it. A quick shot goes wide off the stick of Modano. Now taken by McGill. Knocked off his stick behind the net to Manson. And Dave Manson leads the Chicago Rush 3-on-2. Here's McGill over the line. Weaving in behind the goal. McGill trying to one-hand wrap around the old Gordie Howe move, but didn't quite complete it. And the puck cleared to the far side. The North Stars get it out to center. Here's McCray. 1-on-2 against the Hawk defense, and Brown drills him into the sideboard. Conroy takes it away. Gave it to Creighton at center ice. Creighton gains the line, fakes the shot, now cutting and shoots, and Wilkinson deflected it high and wide. Berezan the other way, puts Tenorti over the line. Mark Tenorti got a bump from Conroy along the board. Now Conroy back on his feet, able to flip it over the head of Wilkinson. Back into the Minnesota zone. And they're going to rule icing here. So the whistle sounds. 5.5 gone in the third. Chicago 3.
He strikes again at the Olympic Saddledome. Flames all over the Los Angeles Kings as they try to get to within one game in this series, trailing 3-1. Rick Natras with the shot. Looks like it was deflected off. Tony Granato, the Kings, 3-0 Calgary, period 2. Back to Chicago.
Fourth game, Minnesota had an edge in the physical part. Game 5, the Blackhawks have a big edge. Good defensive play by Keith Brown, hammering McRae into the side glass. Meanwhile, Conroy and Tenorti with a heavy collision. What a year Keith Brown has had. He continues his fine play defensively in the playoffs. Acting captain with the injury to Dirk Graham.
Now the draw. Here comes Larmer to center. Bouncing one in. Casey put it to the near side. Taken by Giles. He chopped it to center. Now Larmer gets it over the North Star line. Chambers knocked him down along the board. Sean Chambers leads the North Stars out of their own end. 3-on-3 with a long shot from center, and Ellen sticks it into the near corner. Barber center one. Gagne a shot. Big save. Rebound. Came loose at the side of the net. Falling on there. And it'll be covered up. Meanwhile, Greg Millen, twice in this third period, Dave Gagne has had glorious scoring chances, and Millen has stoned him both times.
Well, he made a good save on the backhand shot, getting a piece of Chambers' long attempt. And then Millen was run over after he made the save and still was able to bounce back and make the save on a rebound. A backhand shot on goaltender will tell you it's probably his toughest save because he's not sure where it's going to go. He stood there and let it hit him and then made a good save on the rebound and then was knocked over, kicking it away. Good scoring chances here early in the third.
Billy Seared a long shot, saved, rebound, cleared over the stick of Aaron Broughton. Here comes Roenick. Roenick over the North Star line, racing in behind the net. Roenick looking for help. Now leaves it for Thomas in the corner. Steve Thomas tries to center, deflecting through to the near side. Now behind the net, Presley and Aaron Broughton bump there. Then Thomas dug it out. Casey, a good poke check. Saved himself having to make a save as Thomas was ready to walk out to the slot. Back of the North Star goal, Larry Murphy. Or Dowling on right wing. Bounce it to the Hawk line. Manson there. His pass stolen and cleared back into Chicago territory. Manson his way to the North Star line, fails to get it in deep. Gavin the other way into the Hawk zone to Bellows, into the slot. The trailers. Wilkinson now centered once, and nobody could get any wood on it for the North Stars. Tenorti bounced one to the far corner. Brown couldn't get it out. Behind the net, Bellows jammed it loose, and then it's stolen by Gilbert, who feeds Jocelyn Lemieux. 2-on-2 over the North Star line, then had to flip it in as Chicago wanted a change. And Tenorti for Minnesota. His pass stolen by Doug Wilson. Dumping it back in there. Tenorti works his way to center. Throws it into Chicago ice. Duchesne behind the net, dug it out. Couldn't make a play, though, as Wilson put the clamps on him nicely. Then Barber dug it out of the far corner. Barber's pass ticked off by Dennis Savard. And Savard comes motoring back. He's up a long shot, and Casey gloves that.
Good defensive work there by Savard. Hustling deep.
And a two-line pass here made by the North Stars. 11 and a half to go in the third. Hawks 3, North Stars 1.
At home, Winnipeg would much rather win it at the Northlands Coliseum, taking control. Olsen with a shot. It's deflected in front. Brent Ashton puts it home for the Winnipeg Jets. They lead Edmonton now 3-1 in period 2. Back to Chicago.
Now from the draw, the North Stars clear at the length. It'll be an icing call against Minnesota, and with 11 and a half to go in the third, here's a tangle between Manson and Neil Broughton. Broughton winds up on the deck, and Ajay is furious, and I can't say that I blame him.
Manson really just after the whistle just pulled Broughton down.
penalty that's been called.
This is clearly after the whistle. Now Mensah's got to stick up high with Neal chasing him and Aaron just standing in the way, and then Manson just whips him to the ice. That should have been a penalty.
Oh, no question. Manson got away with one there. Very fortunate that the Hawks aren't short-handed. What a very needless type situation. Here come the North Stars 2-on-1. Neal Broughton over the line to his backhand center one. McGill went sprawling to the ice to block the pass. And the North Stars never got off a shot with a 2-on-1 break. Good work from Bob McGill.
Terrific effort by McGill. The North Stars really coming on here in the second half of this game. Aaron Broughton hooked and then tries to pass it back, but McGill dives headlong and prevents the pass from being completed. And the whistle blew as the puck eventually squirted out of McGill's midsection, but terrific defensive play. Another unsung hero this year for the Blackhawks. He really showed some poise this year in and out of the lineup. But as tough as anybody on the roster, and a steady performer on the line besides.
Here's the draw. Larry Murphy battles along the boards. Couldn't get away from Tavardo, who cleared it to Yanni at center. Brent Yanni steps in over the line on Steeren. Turns on the far side. Steeren poked it away, and Aaron Broughton pushed it to center ice. Here comes Murphy over the Chicago line. Trying to flip one toward the net. Millen gloves it easily, and he'll hang on. All right, you're almost halfway through the third if you're Pierre Pagé. When do you try to employ the full court press?
Well, you still keep going the way you're going. One goal at a time, obviously, but they've had good chances and played a smart period. Waiting to counter. Still lots of time. Too early to open it up. Well, Marawelli with a quick whistle. He's shown that all night. He's been consistent in that regard. Millen with a glove save wanted to play, but didn't have an opportunity. And most of the night, Marawelli has been quick with the whistle.
Executive producer of Sports Channel, Steve Corman, on hand at the game tonight. Mike Finicaro sitting alongside him there.
Not too long, and Mike will have that bone in his nose for most of the day.
Here's the draw. Here's a wraparound attempt by McRae. It's stopped by Millen, and he's able to hang on to it.
Millen just got to that wraparound. Face-off won by Troy Murray, but McRae got away and then snuck in behind, tried to stuff it, with Bellows being shoved into Millen by Keith Brown. McRae was scored in Game 4. The North Stars had a 2-0 lead, but Broughton came out of the penalty box. He made a nice play to set him up, and then fell in behind and got Broughton's rebound when Belfer made the save.
Now the draw. Lemieux had it stripped away by Bellows to the corner behind for Madonna, but Roenick stepped into him. Now Brown put it around to the near side, and Conroy slides it back into the North Star end. Tenorti got a big hit from Lemieux, but Tenorti able to slip it away to Bellows. Now to Wilkinson over the line, trying to center one. It's broken up and cleared to the neutral zone. Conroy there, bouncing it in. Presley to the far board, got run over by Madonna, but center one, Creighton a shot. Casey the save. Terrific work by Wayne Presley along the boards, allowed Adam Creighton to get a chance, and Casey comes up big to keep his team in the hunt.
That almost snuck under him. A quick work by Creighton to get it out front and take advantage of his reach, and on the back end almost put it in, but Presley takes the hit from not only one but two North Stars. And Creighton with the quick hands almost got it under Casey. It hit him and then stayed loose momentarily, and then he lay sprawled on top of it.
One thing that the Blackhawks talked about for this letting him handle the dump-ins, and as a result, they've had some better forechecking opportunity.
Plus, Casey's given it away a few times as well.
Here comes Gagne on the right side over the line. Couldn't get around Manson. Murphy holds it in. Here board to Duchesne. Eitan Duchesne to the corner. 4 players, 5 now battling behind the Hawk goal. Nobody can pry it out of that jam up. And we finally get the whistle. 9.5 left in period 3. Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. We pause for a regional break. With Dale Talon, Pat Foley in Chicago Stadium. The North Stars were outshot 14-2 in the first period, but now the shots are 29-25 for Chicago. Still, however, the Hawks cling to a 3-1 lead, and Minnesota hasn't shot the puck into the Hawk goal yet. The one Minnesota goal was a deflection off a Chicago player. Here come the North Stars in offside. Now Yanni and Duchesne in the corner, a little grappling after the whistle, but that'll be all for now.
Brent Yanni with a good play there to get back and prevent the scoring chance from coming off, I think, his best game of the year. Game 4. Terrific night defensively for the Blackhawks.
Brent Yanni was in and out of the Hawk lineup all year long, at times even in Mike Keenan's doghouse, but he played the last 17 straight games for Chicago, and really, Dale, I thought that over that last stretch of 6 or 8 weeks, he was in the best form of his still young NHL career.
He had a great playoff last year. And, to his own admission, he's had an up and down year, but he's played well here in the playoffs.
9 minutes left in the third. 3-1 Blackhawks as Neil Broughton has his pass picked off by Thomas. Couldn't get around Chambers, though. Able to dump it in. Chambers cleared it to the far side. Aaron Broughton got tied up. Presley stole it in over the line. A long shot deflected. Look out in the crowd as that one sails just over the glass. The broadcast rights for this game have been granted to Sports Channel America and WBBM Radio by the Chicago Blackhawks solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the consent of Sports Channel America or WBBM in Chicago is prohibited.
Presley letting that shot go just inside the line, deflected by the defenseman. 3 goals for Presley in 3 games, 11 goals in his playoff career, and 4 of them shorthanded penalties.
His 30th career playoff game. Those 11 goals. Here's the draw. Taken by Tenorti. Playing with a tender back. He was questionable tonight. He did not play at all in the third period. Not much in the second in game 4. Was not even on the North Star bench. He got hit in kind of an awkward position. Really jarred his back, but been out there tonight for Minnesota, and at times it's appeared that you can really tell that he's laboring a little bit. Now here's Gilbert for Lemieux at center. Back to Gilbert over the line. Gilbert moves behind the North Star net. Lost it there to Wilkinson. And out come the North Stars. Bellows. His pass intercepted. Gilbert dumping it back in. Aarons to Savard, to Larmer on his backhand centering. Too far for Savard in front. And Churla feeds Modano. Now to McRae over the line. Basil McRae coughed it up to Savard. Rolling it back into North Star ice. Calgary's opened up a 3-0 lead over Los Angeles. So the Flames starting their game with a vengeance tonight. They have to win 3 in a row to have the chance to defend their Stanley Cup title. And here come the North Stars in offside. We're down to 7 minutes remaining in the third. Chicago 3, Minnesota 1. In his own end John Casey flips it up the near board. Thomas held it into Roenick. He center one tip. Casey, great save on a Presley deflection. He stopped it, I think, twice. He made the first stop. It was then headed up over his shoulder, and he stopped it again. Here comes Barber in centering, and it deflects behind Murphy, who might have had a great chance. Now Thomas wisely puts it into the seat. Good opportunities at either end on that shift.
Terrific save by Casey. You're exactly right. I think he stopped it twice. Roenick's pass deflected by Presley, up in the air by Casey's pad, and then he had to swat at it with the blocker as it looked like it might go over him. Jeremy Roenick, who scored his second goal of the playoffs to start things off at 10:17 of the first period, almost sets up Presley for his fourth.
Chicago with goals from Roenick, Savard, and Gilbert. Ryan Bellows credited with the Minnesota goal when he threw a centering pass into the slot and it deflected in off Troy Murray's stick. Now Murray and Gagne ready in the Chicago zone. Here's the draw. Dahlen had it knocked away in the corner. A couple of players scramble away there. Came loose behind the net to Conroy, and he clears out to center ice. Troy Murray in on Larry Murphy, and Murphy rubs him off along the board. Here's Dahlen. He flipped it to center ice. Heath Brown has it there. The Hawks dump it back into the Minnesota zone.
A nice play by Scampanello to get out of the way of that.
Now Wilson beating Goulet in over the line. Goulet to the left wing circle. Centered one just behind Larmer in front. And Bellows, his pass is deflected to Wilson in the neutral zone. Beating Savard for Goulet over the line. Cutting in. Fires, and good reaction by Chambers to get over and deflect that over the glass and into the crowd.
That shot went clearly up into the second balcony, up to the first row. The guy had a chance for a souvenir, almost fell out of the balcony and lost the puck to someone in the first balcony. Goulet didn't see Larmer coming in deep after Savard passed it to him. Goulet hasn't played a lot with Savard and Larmer, but he's played a lot with them tonight. And this line has been terrific. They've missed a lot of good chances. Just missed. Their timing a bit off. 3 games out of the lineup for Goulet, and I think you got the message. He's been terrific all night. Savard and Larmer are a prolific line. This could be.
Well, Chicago leads Minnesota by a 3-1 score in period number 3. We're going to take it out of St. Louis, where the Blues are trying to wrap up their series against Toronto. We'll take you back to Chicago. Here's Bob Call and Harry Neal.
Play continues. Lowry tried to center it. Bester trying to keep it behind the net. A scramble for it back there. 1 minute remaining in the third period. And maybe 1 minute in the lead. Season. Bester was trying to get to the bench. Nearly got trapped. Good checking by Wilson and Sutter. The crowd roaring now with 45 seconds remaining in the Leafs trying to pull it out one more time. Oh, check the center. Bester going for the Leaf bench. They now have the extra man on. The Blues, Paul Cavallini gets it out over the line. 30 seconds remaining in the third period. Cavallini clears the zone. 25 seconds left. Olczyk stopped by Sneps at center ice. The Leafs shoot it in. 20 seconds remaining in the third. Leafs dump Moose onto the play call. The net off the magnet again. In behind Riendo. Now, there might be a face-off in the St. Louis zone to the left. Paul Cavallini is arguing with the linesman and the referee. It should be out, but I think it's going to be inside the line. With 15 seconds left, Harry, on the clock.
It absolutely is. While the play was up at the other end, Riendo knocked it off. And the face-off will
See, just inside the St. Louis blue line. That's where the puck was when the whistle blew. Riendo was lucky, boy, that he didn't get caught doing that. It's a penalty shot.
Yes, it is.
If you do it within the last 2 minutes. The Leafs were exhausted. They played about 1 minute and 20 seconds trying to get Vester out of there with the same 5 guys, and they couldn't move their legs. So Riendo really gave them a break because St. Louis was on the way out of the zone when the whistle went.
The crowd standing and cheering the Blues.
The Leafs have used their timeout, Bob. Remember, they used it earlier in the 3rd period. They'd like to have one now. And St. Louis, if they're smart, won't take one.
And here they go. All right, 15 seconds remaining. Is this the end of the road? 1990 for the Maple Leafs. 4-3 is the score. The Blues leading the Maple Leafs. Snips, clears it down the ice. Perfect draw wake. It got as far as the goal line and no icing. 6 seconds left. This is it. The Blues will move on. They defeat Toronto. Now they're marching into the division final whenever it comes. They've got some time now to savor this victory and think about what's next. I'm sure Brian Sutter has a few plans.
He better give Vincent Riondo a big kiss because he only made one big stop. But that would have tied
the Blues win by a score of 4-3. Brett Hull had 2 goals tonight. They win the series 4-1. Who will they play? They're battling it out in Chicago right now. We take you back to Pat Foley and Dale Talon.
Well, the way they've played all night long, they've been beautiful to watch. They failed to capitalize on so many good chances, and they finally get one by Casey. And some great passing once again. Bernardi coughed it up to Savard. Savard picking the pass out of midair, got it into Larmer. Goulet knows where to go when he doesn't have it, kicks it to a stick, and he puts it under Casey to give the Hawks a 4-1 lead and a 3-goal cushion with 3.5 to go in the 3rd.
Goulet's 21st of the year overall. Here come the North Stars. Dowling cutting in behind the net, centered one. Out to the line, Wilkinson. To the corner, Aaron Broughton. Centered it. Neal couldn't get off the shot. Goulet cleared, not out. Here's Giles, a drive. Didn't get through Goulet, who rolled it to center. And just too far for Larmer. And 18,237 are starting to celebrate here in the stadium now as the North Stars dump it in offside on the play. Just over 2.5 to go in the 3rd. It's Chicago 4, Minnesota 1.
Scored by number 16, Joe Goulet.
You never know what the day will bring. Game, Savard, the Larmer who faked the shot, throws Murphy. Goulet all alone, kicks it to a stick and put it through Casey. For Goulet's first of the playoffs. Savard with a goal and 2 assists. Larmer with a couple of assists. The line has been on all cylinders tonight.
Now Murphy puts Gagne to center, sending it ahead too far for Bellows. Back of the Hawk goal. Here's the stuff attempt by Barber. Millen beat him to the far post. And they'll Chicago. And Dale Talon in the stadium. St. Louis eliminates Toronto. Blues 4, Maple Leafs 3, and St. Louis will now await the winner of this series. Barring a miracle from Pierre Paget's team, the Hawks will grab a 3-2 lead in this series, and St. Louis will anxiously await the next round. Here comes Steve Thomas, and he scores! Thomas! A rocket from well outside the near circle. He powered it by Casey, and the Hawks having some fun now, leading 5-1.
Well, earlier in the game, in the same type of situation, Roenick advanced the puck off the faceoff instead of trying to pull it. Thomas pulled away, almost had a break, forced a penalty. This time he tried it, didn't get through, but Presley got it and did the same thing, put it to the neutral zone. Thomas onside, picked it up, buried his head, and fired it. As Casey, moving forward, was not set. He was at the hash marks, and it got through him. The Blackhawks now with a 5-1 lead.
Second goal of the series for Steve Thomas. And his 42nd of the year overall. And 2 minutes left to go in this one. And it's been an anxious and somewhat nervous crowd, I think, for the better part of this game, but they're having a little fun in the stadium now. Game 6, Saturday night in the Met Center, where the North Stars will be in a must-win situation. 7:20 with a radio pregame, 7:30 Central Time on most of these same Sports Channel stations. Now here's Larmer with a long shot, deflected over the glass and nearly into the Blackhawk grass, part of the penalty or the press box.
Assisted by number 17, Wayne Presley, and number 27, Jeremy Roden. At 17,
Thomas from Presley and Roenick at 17:48.
assisted by Presley and Roden at
To send the
17:48.
celebration into its early stages.
This what Chicago needs, an excuse, right?
And by the way, if you were not with us earlier, we will repeat that there are quite a few tickets still remaining for that Game 6 in the Met Center. As of this morning, only 10,000 tickets have been sold, so they have about 5,000 seats still available for Game 6 in the Met Center. And we're in the final minute of this game. As the North Stars work it out to center ice. Madonna over the Hawk line. His pass is stolen by Manson. And the crowd now rising to salute the Hawks. Half a minute left to go. Savard has it at center. He's had a huge night for Chicago, but he has not been alone. And now just 15 seconds remain. The North Stars dump it in. Bears into the corner, put it around behind the net, missing McRae. 3 seconds to go. Hawks win.
Well, the Blackhawks got their offense on track, had a great first period. Got some key saves by Millen when they were short for 5 minutes in the second. Made some good saves early in the third, but an overall good performance for the Blackhawks to take a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series, and it should be a whale of a game Saturday night in Minnesota.
12-10, the Hawks outshoot Minnesota in the third, 36-27, the total advantage for Chicago in the shots, and 2 goals in the third for the Blackhawks. Michel Goulet off a Savard steal. Larmer also assisting at 16:37, and then Steve Thomas pumps in his second playoff goal from Presley and Roenick at 17:48. And the Blackhawks lead the series 3-2 as they win tonight 5-1. The Minnesota North Stars against the Chicago Blackhawks in Game 7 of the Norris Division semifinals. Hello again, everybody. Pat Foley and Dale Talon in what will be a much louder Chicago stadium than it is now. In several of the games of this series, there has not been a lot of drama. Many of the games have been one-sided. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case here tonight.
Well, I would think that tonight we predicted that Game 6 would be a great hockey game. We were wrong again. This series has been very inconsistent. One team dominates one night, the other team comes back and dominates the other night. So it's been very inconsistent in that regard. Which teams will show up tonight? Will Chicago turn things around and come back after a devastating loss in Game 6 and take advantage of home ice and the home crowd to forecheck and put pressure on the North Stars? Or will the North Stars frustrate the Blackhawks and make it a nervous seventh game for them?
Speaking of nerves, it may well be the Chicago team that's a little bit more nervous. They are certainly favored to win this series. What about the coaches? How did they prepare their teams, and what do they think needs to be done for this seventh game?
I think we have to remember what we did in the month of March when we played Detroit, Boston, and Toronto, and how we played, how hard we played, and how we were disciplined, because that's what got us into the playoffs. And this game is very similar to those games. And when you remember the good things, usually it helps you.
I think the successful team tonight will be the team that can generate the best balance between offense and defense. It's been a very extremely tightly checking series to date, and the team that can come up with some quick offense and then be able to defend the lead is probably going to be successful.
As we anticipate this seventh game, who might be the key performers? Each team has several players that are going to be very important to the outcome of this game tonight, starting with a couple of centermen, each probably considered their team's top player.
Well, the home ice advantage allows Savard to get the last change from Keenan, get him away maybe from Neil Broughton, but the two team leaders, Savard and Broughton, both have to have big nights if either one of their teams are going to win. The Blackhawks will try to keep Savard away from Broughton because Broughton and Gavin did a great job against Larmer and Savard. Larmer's had a great series. I think he's been the most consistent player, but he has nothing to show for it offensively. So look for him to come through in a big way. Likewise, Bellows. He got out to a roaring start, scoring the first 3 goals of the series for the North Stars, but has been pretty well kept at bay the rest of the series.
What about the defense position? Each team has a guy who's had a standout series, I think.
Well, the defense has been unbelievable for the North Stars, a young defense. Tenorti was brilliant in Game 1, injured his back in Game 3, has played sparingly since, but came back in Game 6, played with a lot of emotion. Tough kid, played extremely well in front of the net in the corners in a small rink. Steve Conroy has been the epitome of confidence and consistency all season long. He's been a steady performer on the line.
And each team could file a missing persons report for these players, but Adam Creighton and Mike Modano have the potential to be a big influence on the outcome tonight.
Well, that's true. Creighton had a great first 50 games, but slumped badly in this last half of the season and hasn't performed up to capabilities in the playoffs. Likewise, Modano, great rookie year, only 1 goal in his career in playoff competition and really hasn't done much in this playoff series.
Everybody in sports also wants to talk about money. What is the financial picture? This is basically a $1 million hockey game at the minimum. Whoever wins this is guaranteed 2 more home games. That's at least another $1 million in the till. So it's a high-priced and exciting game that we expect here tonight for Game 7. And we'll come back and get it all started right after this timeout. They have lost 3 series since then without emerging victorious. And on the other side of the coin, amazingly enough, the Chicago Blackhawks have not played in a 7th game of a series for almost 20 years. 1971 was the last time that happened, and Montreal in the Stanley Cup Finals beat Chicago here in the stadium for a 7th game win, a 3-2 victory that sent the Canadiens on to the Stanley Cup. Pierre Paget and his team, the underdogs, Dale, they can probably afford to feel a little bit looser than the Chicago team can.
Well, they have less experience, that's for sure, about playoff competition. Who knows, though? We expected this to happen in Game 6, that both teams would really come out and fly and have great nights. Last time in here, the North Stars were dominated by the Blackhawks. Hawks had more experience, yet they had more pressure on them because they're expected to win.
You played in decisive final games of series before. And what do you think is going through the minds of the players here?
Well, they're more nervous than I was this afternoon at my accountant's office writing that check out to the IRS. But you have to play in control. You have to be fearful. Sometimes you get out of control. Your emotions run so high and you realize the importance of it. You're starting to run around. So yeah, it's hard to keep a nice, even keel for a pressure-packed situation like this.
Teams are ready, so is the crowd. Let's enjoy the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in earth, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Satan's red star-spangled banner yet waves o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The stadium crowd famous for their rousing welcome to the national anthem. I don't think they've ever been louder than that, at least in the last 10 years. It's all on the table now. The winner goes on, the loser goes home.
John Casey's been brilliant throughout the regular season and the playoffs. 3-3 and a 2.67. He's played every minute. Meanwhile, Greg Millen, 5 2/3. He's been going most of the game. Keenan's gone to the bullpen 3 times. Millen is 2-2 with a 3.23 goals against average.
No
Belfort
stranger.
1-1.
No stranger to big games. Andy Van Helleman is the referee tonight. The linesman, Swede Knox and Wayne Bonney. Here we go. Berezan over the line shooting, and a blocker saved by Millen. Manson in the near corner. Got help there from Savard, who returns it to Dave Manson. Manson with room out to center ice as Minnesota was changing players. The long shot dipping and just missed the far post. Now Tenorti coughed it up. Savard turning on the far side, centered one, didn't get through to Bob Murray. Nice steal by Aaron Broughton. And Broughton's pass is picked off. Goulet lifts it back into the North Star zone. Taken by Stuart Gavin. His pass stolen. Conroy hammers it back in, and Casey sticks it aside. Into the far corner, Troy Murray failed to hold on to it. And Aaron Broughton able to roll it to center ice. Steve Conroy back into the North Star zone for Lemieux. Now back to Conroy. His long shot deflects wide. And Bellows cleared it to the neutral zone. Conroy there. Back into the North Star end. Conroy centered one. Tip. Hit the goal post. Troy Murray redirected it, but right off the far pipe. And the first good chance of the game is a near miss for Chicago. It's dumped back into the Chicago end. Berezan tied up on the boards, and it's cleared back the other way. Neil Wilkinson on it for the North Star. Wilkinson for Gaetan Duchesne. His pass picked off by Doug Wilson. Now to Thomas on left wing for Presley over the line. Moving up the slot, shooting. He just hit the side of the net. Rebound Wilson. Hacked it in front. Deep slot to Presley. The shot set wide. Rebound to Berezan. Harry Berezan clears it back the other way. And Wilson on it for the Blackhawks. Beating Thomas. Now to Roenick. 2-on-1 over the line. Cutting in for Sutter. And a save by Casey. Rebound Thomas. Hit the side of the net. Casey covered up. The puck right in the net. No goal. Clearly there. The whistle had blown. John Casey made the save and covered. Van Helleman blew the whistle well before Dwayne Sutter chopped it into the net. And that will not be allowed. But a rip-roaring start to Game 7.
Rip-roaring start for the Blackhawks, but nothing to show for it. They've had 5 chances in the first 2 minutes. And all quality chances. Troy Murray hit the post. Presley with 2 chances. Sutter on the feed from Roenick. Casey coming out of the net, and then Sutter went right into him. And then on the backhand, the rebound shot hit the side of the net and came right into Casey. And then after the whistle, Casey had it sneaked by him, but clearly Van Hellemond had signaled no goal with the whistle blowing it dead. And then Casey wanted to get at Sutter for bumping into him. Hawks flying out of the gate, but missing good chances early. And they could come back to haunt them. Sutter, no stranger to competition in the playoffs.
Scored a huge overtime goal last year in the Blackhawks upset win in the playoffs over Detroit. And that's the situation Chicago's trying to avoid tonight. Last year, Chicago finished 4th, upset the first-place team. Now the roles are reversed. Chicago finishing first, but the upstart North Stars giving them all they can handle in this series. There's Troy Murray. Put it in behind the North Star net. Casey swings it around the boards. Conroy's long shot doesn't get through. Murphy blocked it. Al Gilbert to the corner. Got help from Troy Murray. Murray dug it out of there, trying to muscle his way in front, but knocked down by Murphy. Now Lemieux back in the Chicago lineup. Got tied up along the boards, but Gilbert tries to dig it out of there. He does. Gilbert, his pass stolen by Don Barber. And now to center for Gagne. Flipping it into the Chicago zone. Pete Brown chips it out to the North Star line. Chambers on it for Minnesota. Gave it to McRae. And he cleared it ahead, but right to Wilson. Doug Wilson or Steve Larmer. Got away from one check. Now works his way over the North Star line. Fakes the shot. Got around. Chambers cutting and shoot. And a save by Casey. Good rush by Larmer, but Casey beat him. Larmer again out to the line. Held in by Yanni. Now Goulet lost it in the corner. Savard comes to the near side. Back of the net for Larmer, centering. Unable to hit Goulet in the slot. And Wilson back into his own end. Leading Larmer at center ice, has Thomas over the line, and the play is ruled offside. Thomas wanted to make sure the pass, he took a little mustard off it, and that forced Thomas in ahead of the play. It's early, there is no score.
Steve Larmer with a great rush. Fakes the shot, goes wide, goes to the dot from a sharp angle. Had a little bit of an opening through the legs, but Casey was able to shut the door. And that, the 6th chance of the period for the Blackhawks, and still 3 minutes or 16:40 to go.
Now here's the draw. Wilkinson got stopped by Bob Murray. Creighton the other way. In over the line, trying to cut for the net. Kurt Giles, a much smaller player, wrestling Creighton to the ice with a great defensive play. Now Creighton knocked down again by Bellows in the corner. Thomas in there. Bellows and Creighton start jostling back and forth, and still no whistle as Van Hellemond says play on. Finally, it's dug loose, and the North Stars come out. Giles gave it to Bellows over the line. Poke check there to Presley. He feeds Thomas at center. Steve Thomas with a long shot deflecting wide. Now back to the net. Thomas, a great hit, allowing Roenick to dig it out. He leaves it behind the goal. Casey out to play it. And a good job to feed Gagne, who chips it to center ice. Keith Brown has it there and shot it into the penalty box. We said that Steve Conroy has had a terrific series for Chicago, but that fella right there, Keith Brown, coming off his best year ever, is living up to that billing in playoff competition.
As well as he played in the regular season, I think he's even played better in the playoffs. Brown talking about pressure. Steve Thomas, another Blackhawk that needs to get his offense on track. He has 2 goals in 6 games. Thomas with a good check. He's the type of player you like to start each period, especially in your home building. Takes advantage of his speed and his physical presence. He can start things off in a hurry for you by getting on the defense and creating a havoc with a check like that.
Steve Conroy clearing it into the North Star zone. On the far side, Duchesne rolled it to the Hawk line. Now bouncing around at center. Taken by Duchesne. Trying to feed Berezan, but it hopped over his stick. Conroy rolled it to the far side. North Stars keep it in. Here's Dowling unchecked behind the net. Now Conroy got a piece of him, and Roenick came to take it away. Jeremy Roenick rolled it to center ice. Billy Siren shooting it right back in. Taken by Brown. Keith Brown for Roenick at center. To Lemieux over the line. He ran into Chambers, though, and it's taken away by Tenorti, whose pass is broken up. Tenorti then gets it back, drives it into Chicago territory. Brent Yanni reversing the flow, cleared it to the near side, and Gilbert behind the net for Wilson. Hawks hammered around the boards. The North Stars are there, though. Aaron Broughton held it into Neal. His pass deflecting and rolls back into the North Star zone. Casey failed to clear it. Gilbert, an open net shot. Saved by Chambers. Saved a goal for Minnesota. Now on the near side, here's Lemieux walking into the deep slot. To the line, Bob Murray. His flip shot didn't get through. Yes, it did, apparently, into the glove of Casey, or deflected upstairs. That's where it went, into the crowd. It's still early, and it's still scoreless.
John Casey, who's been so adept at handling the puck all series, comes out to play it. It puts it right on to Gilbert. Lemieux then goes to the net, and I think it hit Lemieux before it had a chance to go into the net. Chambers had no idea where it was, but it hit Lemieux and deflected in behind Casey. An empty net opportunity squandered on a Casey giveaway.
Now they drop it unfairly. Goals have been tough to come by, as we've said before in this series. Each team in the first 6 games has scored only 16 goals. And for Chicago, amazingly enough, in 6 games, there have only been 7 players who have scored a goal. Presley, Gilbert, and Roenick each have 3. Savard, Larmer, and Thomas each have 2, and Goulet has a goal in the 6-game series. So not much offense, and what there has been from just a few players for Chicago. Here's Savard trying to walk in front, couldn't do it. Dowlin the other way, might be a 2-on-1. Dowlin in over the line with Duchesne, trying to give it to him, and it's broken up by Manson. Dave Manson broke up a 2-on-1 rush. Larmer the other way, a long shot flutters up off the glass, and Tenorti put it to the far side. Larmer stealing it there. Larmer battles to the corner behind the net to Savard. Savard center one, Goulet fan, now Larmer, and a save by Casey. Rebound behind the net to Savard. Savard dancing into the slot, of backhander blocked by Chambers, and he'll hammer at the length as the North Stars are just trying to weather the storm here from Chicago. The Hawks off to a roaring and dominant type start, but have not been able to beat John Casey yet.
Good play by Dave Manson on a 2-on-1. First odd man breakout for the North Stars, but it's been all Chicago, yet it's still scoreless, and that has to really start to eat away at the Blackhawks. Goulet right in the doorstep, no one in front, fanned on the pass from Savard, and Larmer on the wraparound. Good save by Casey, because he was surprised by the quickness of the shot. He was ready for Goulet's shot and had to recover as it went over to his left. He was ready for a harder shot from Goulet, went down, and then Larmer with a quick spin shot. Casey recovered and kicked it away. 8th chance for the Blackhawks. No scoring chances yet for the North Stars.
After Game 6, Mike Keenan said that fella has been the difference in the series, John Casey.
It's easy to say, but the team hasn't played that well either. They've played well in 3 games and poorly in 3 others.
Here's Doug Wilson. His shot is stopped and deflected back to center, where Bellows flips it in. Now Yanni gave it to Troy Murray. He's bumped off the puck. North Stars keep it in. Here's Barber trying to center. Gagne, quick shot. Oh, he just missed the near post. Now Barber in the corner, bumped by Doug Wilson. Then Bellows dug it out, centering it, hits the leg to the far side. Giles into the corner. Bellows trying to center it, missed everybody, and winds up back in the North Star zone.
Troy Murray mishandling the puck once again at all kinds of time and room, and he's been doing that with regularity in the second half and in the playoffs.
Lemieux deep in the Minnesota zone. His pass picked off by Casey. Now Lemieux the wrapper on a Creighton rather, and Casey beat him to the near post. Now out come the North Stars. Gagne trying to feed Wilkinson. It didn't click. Keith Brown gathers it in for Chicago. Up the boards to Conroy, who was stopped at center. Creighton carries on. Creighton with a meager 2 assists in this series. Dumps it into the North Star zone. On the far side, it's Duchesne clearing to center. Now taken by Bob Murray. Murray dumps it in. Let me give Creighton one more assist than I said. He's got 3 assists in the series, not just 2. But yet to dent the net as the North Stars dump one in. McRae hustles to the corner, but Manson got there first. Dave Manson lines it up to center. Gains the line, but forgot the puck. McRae got it to Larry Murphy. Bouncing it in. Taken by Dwayne Sutter. Or Van Dorp on left wing at center. He couldn't field the pass. Here's the lead. Bad change by the Hawks. Neil Broughton a shot. Big save by Millen as the Hawks got caught in a player change. Here's Gavin now. Behind the net for Aaron Broughton. He's tied up there. Poked loose to Gavin on the far side. Stewart Gavin left in the corner. There's going to be a Hawk penalty as Manson leveled Aaron Broughton. And the first power play of the game will be Minnesota's. With 11 minutes to go in the opening period, no score as we pause for...
Mike Keenan employs a 4th line with Van Dorp and Sutter and Roenick. Van Dorp first shift, he loses possession, and Broughton on a player change sneaks in. Millen makes a great save, and then right after it, Manson gets caught for cross-checking at 8:47. A tough game to use 4 lines. This is a situation where you got to go with your best the entire night.
Neither team's power play has done much in this series. Here's Murphy to the far corner. Bellows out to the line. Neil Broughton got it around the boards. Millen out to play it. Put it to the far side. Troy Murray couldn't gather it in. Bellows does. A long wrist shot. Tip, they score! Don Barber redirecting the wrist shot from Bellows. Great work from Barber. That was waist high, and he still managed to redirect it out of midair. And after a dominant start for Chicago, Minnesota scores on the power play. It's 1-0.
Well, that's the type of situation you can't afford to have in playoff competition. You're dominant, take a penalty, and a wrist shot deflected maybe twice. Once by a Blackhawk and then by Barber in front. Millen had no chance. And the North Stars, with 2 scoring chances prior to that, capitalize on the power play on a deflection. After all the great chances Chicago's had, the North Stars take the lead on the power play. That's why you don't want to ever go into Game 7 for that type of reason. You put pressure, dominate, get good goaltending against you, and then all of a sudden a power play, and it's a 1-0 deficit. And the North Stars weather the storm and take the lead on the power play. Barber is 4th. Or I should say his 3rd and 10th lifetime against the Blackhawks.
Here's Savard in over the North Star line into the deep slot. His pass deflecting back to center ice. Now the Hawks dump it in, taken by Wilkinson. Neil Wilkinson around the boards, out to center. Taken there by Bob Murray, back into the Minnesota zone, into the deep slot. Long wrist shot, gloved easily by Casey. Plays to Wilkinson. Now to Churla on right wing, beating Neil Broughton in over the Chicago line. His pass stolen by Goulet, ahead to Savard. Into the Minnesota zone, back to Goulet. A clip shot is blocked by Chambers, and Neil Broughton able to clear it to center ice. Hawks put it back in their offside, and an intentional offside ruled here. They'll bring the draw all the way back into the Chicago zone. Doug Wilson missed 10 games this year with a knee problem, a groin problem, and a little elbow trouble earlier.
That was a great first half, and then he slumped a bit with injuries in the middle part of the second half, and then came on at the end of the season. Looking for his first goal in this playoff competition after an excellent season. Wilson had 23 in the regular season, had it with 50 assists for 73 points.
Troy Murray with Gilbert and Lemieux out there for Chicago. Gagne, Bellows, and Barber for Minnesota. Now ready to the left of Millen. Here's the draw, right to Murphy. His long shot is blocked. Lemieux racing after the loose puck at center. Gets there. Steps over the line, shooting. And a save by Casey. Rebound to the near side, and Barber cleared it back around the boards. Here's Siren for Minnesota. Bouncing it out to center. Gilbert there. Whipped it to the North Star line. Bellows and Lemieux crashed together along the boards. Then Gagne flipped it loose. And Conroy hacks it not out. Held in by Gagne. Cutting in. Shoots one. Millen stopped it. Rebound to the near corner. Adam Creighton is there. Up the boards to Greg Gilbert. And now Creighton into the North Star zone. Bought off of Murphy. Check to the corner. Creighton turns behind the net. Walks in front. Then fanned on the shot. Held in by Yanni. His drive. Shot it wide. And it rolls loose back to center ice. Bellows is there. Has Gagne coming. Bellows center one. Gagne right in. Shoot. He shot it wide. He failed to control the backhand as Gagne was in alone. Here come the Hawks back. Presley over the line. Moving in. Shooting. Casey makes the stop. Almost coughed it up, but dives to cover with 9 minutes to go in the first. Minnesota 1, Chicago nothing.
Brian Bellows clipped over the right eye, made a nice play to set up Gagne, who broke in all alone after Trent Yanni missed the net, and the Hawks put pressure on, got caught, and Gagne pulled it to his backhand and shot it wide, and then the Blackhawks countered with a Presley shot that almost dribbled past Casey.
Sean Chambers to Tenorti, goes up the left wing boards. Duchesne took a hit from Thomas. Now Sutter looking to dig it out of there. They wrestle on the boards. Came loose. Here's a long shot. Bluffed by Casey. Drops it to Chambers, who banks one out to center. Berezan in over the Hawk line. Got around Sutter. Then on a second chance, Sutter knocked it loose. And there will be a penalty coming up here against the North Stars as Sutter was sent to the ice. Now Hawks try to get the extra attacker on. Yanni, as Millen now is off to the bench. Yanni comes to center. Well, he dumps it in. Casey will handle it easily, and the Blackhawks will get their first power play chance of the game. Minnesota scored on theirs, and here's Chicago's turn to answer. North Stars lead it 1-0.
Sutter, as he cut dangerously in front of his own net. He kicked the puck, tried to get at it. Duchesne stuck the leg out. Sutter went down. A good call by Van Hellemond because it was in a very dangerous situation on the ice. So the Blackhawks looking to tie it up with their power play,
which is 5 out of 41 in the series. 12% that is. Here's the draw. Doug Wilson near board to Savard. Has a problem with Groton, but got away from him. Savard to Wilson. The long shot deflected up high off the glass. Out of the far corner, Goulet behind the net to Larmer. Now Savard to the line. Wilson far side, and Yanni. His stick is broken. He had to throw it to the ice, and that allows the North Stars to clear. Here comes Wilson. North Stars will line up for across the box, able to move in, around it, check is Larmer shooting, Casey, great save! Larmer blew right around Tenorti, but Casey bailed him out. Here's Bob Murray, turning on the far board, to the line, Savard, the long shot up off the glass, rebound on top of the net, and it'll be held there.
Well, you can't get enough good chances. It might come back to haunt the Blackhawks. Larmer with another great chance, and he's had a basket full of chances in this series, but only 2 goals in the whole series. But considering the chances he's had, he should be up about a goal per game at least. He catches Tenorti flat-footed on the pass from Doug Wilson. Shields the puck with his body, tries to go high to the short side, but Casey's right there. The medium height and the shot, got to put it up higher or lower on Casey, and they're shooting it. It seems right into him. A minute 10 remaining on the power play.
2 goals and 3 assists for Larmer in this series. His 2 goals came on the road. His 3 assists came here at home. Now the draw. Gavin clearing. Murray starts the Hawks away. Gets to center and feeds for Savard over the line. The play is offside. The Hawks earlier, whenever they've dumped it in this series on the power play, about 90% of those times they've just chased back the other way because Casey's done very well at handling the puck to his defenseman, and they've cleared it without much trouble most of the time. So the Hawks tonight obviously trying to avoid dumping it in if at all possible.
Well, they're coming in deeper and all coming out together and trying to set up a play, a pick-type play at the blue line to get a chance to carry it in. fans impatient with the Blackhawks in that attempt. They had the one quality chance that they wanted in the first minute of the power play. Now they need to get another one mustered up in the last 51 seconds of it to try and tie it up. Couldn't ask for a better chance than the one Steve Larmer had. North Stars penalty killing was excellent at home, excellent throughout the regular season at home. It's been terrific in the playoffs. Both teams' penalty killing units have been great.
Now Wilkinson back of his own goal with time. He clears. Millen shot it to an open wing. Easy steal for Tenorti. Now Bob Murray gets it back. Murray with room to center. Putting Wilson over the line. Dropped it for Goulet, trying to center a bouncing puck into the slot. Savard couldn't get to it. Now Neil Broughton able to clear. The Hawks change players after 1 minute and 40 seconds of their first power play. One rush now for Roenick as he carries it over the Minnesota line. Peels off to the far side. Dropped it to Keith Brown, whose shot is blocked. Hacked loose in front of the net. Everybody chopped away. Neil Broughton able to pick it up. And Broughton now starts the North Stars back. Minnesota's penalty over. Both teams at full strength. 3-on-2 break. But a pass missing Chambers. And a rush goes for naught for the North Stars. Siren clearing it down into the Chicago zone. Manson back. He'll touch it for an icing call here against the North Stars. And McRae and Manson a little bumping after the whistle, but that's all for now. 5:45 left in the first.
John Casey continues his great play. He's been brilliant here in the first 15 minutes of period 1 of game 7. Hawks have had at least 9 quality chances here in the first 15 minutes. They had most of those in the first 10 minutes.
Wayne Presley in the North Star zone. Tied up on the boards. Bob Murray a long shot. Casey the save. Rebounded Thomas behind the net. Trying to stuff it in. Couldn't get it through Casey. And McRae now able to clear it to center. Churla battles to the Hawk line, but Manson took it away there. And now Bob Murray flips it to the Minnesota line. Larry Murphy. Two-line pass accepted by Churla, so the whistle sounds.
Adam Creighton came over for a player change, and nobody came as the puck came over there as well. And Larry Murphy was at an excellent year, a solid offensive defenseman, has blossomed into a two-way player. Started his career with LA, great numbers in his rookie year. Went to Washington, where Brian Murray turned him into a two-way player. He was known primarily as an offensive defenseman in LA.
Gagne with 2 goals and 3 assists so far in this series, but only 1 point in the 3 previous games here at Chicago Stadium. Now the draw. Barber got around Conroy, storms over the Hawk line, trying to cut in. Oh, and he got a high stick. That might be a 5-minute. And meanwhile, Bellows is shaken up in the far corner as well. But Don Barber trying to make a quick stop to allow himself to get a shot away. Victimized by a high stick, and I think Keith Brown is going to be gone for this game. There's a good chance, but we'll see what Van Helleman's decision is in a moment. 5 minutes left in the first, 1-0 North Star.
Minnesota, Keith Brown with Barber, and he went for skate, stopped, and then reached back and swatted Barber right in the mouth. A 5-minute and a game misconduct for Keith Brown. The Hawks lose their most reliable defenseman, and a 5-minute power play for the North Stars, a chance for them to add to the 1-0 lead and really put themselves in great shape in game 7.
This could well be the series right here for either team. These 5-minuters have a way of changing the momentum one way or the other. Here are the North Stars now. Neil Broughton trying to center one. Murphy, quick shot, hit the post, rebound. Cleared in behind that. I said Murphy. It was Modano that had that chance. Now behind the goal, dug out of there by Bob Murray. He cleared. But for an inch or two, the North Stars would have a 2-0 lead as Modano Had a glorious opportunity off a terrific feed from Neil Broughton. Now here's Broughton in over the line around one check. Works his way to the far corner. Left it there. Bellows kicked it loose behind the net. McRae. Basil McRae to Madonna in the near circle. Deep slot Neil Broughton. His shot is blocked. To the far corner, taken there by Bellows. Trying to center one. It goes through to the near side. Madonna. Mike Madonna lost it to Lemieux and he cleared. 1 minute gone on the major penalty against Brown. Now Murphy comes away for the North Star. The Chambers dumping it in. Aaron Broughton trying to send it around the boards, got too much and lifts it up into the seats.
Face-off will go to the neutral zone with 3:41 remaining on the 5-minute power play.
Aaron Broughton hasn't scored a goal yet this series, but 5 helpers.
Had his best game in Game 6 when he played with Brother Neil and Stuart Gavin. They did a terrific job of shutting down the Blackhawks top line and added a couple themselves. A quick shot by Madonna through the screen. Bob Murray went to try and block it and missed him. Millen didn't see it. Hit the post. The Hawks dodge a bullet.
Now Larmer got the draw, steps over the line, cutting and shooting, and a save by Casey. Rebound to the far side, taken by Aaron Broughton. Broughton turns, cleared it to the near side. Larmer stole it, but his pass deflected by Wilkinson to Aaron Broughton. Now Gagne. Dave Gagne waiting for Chambers, but he was in ahead of the play. And we get a whistle.
Close call, but the right call. Knox made the call. Pass in behind Gilbert, deflected. 3 minutes and 21 to go in the period. 3:16 to go in the penalty to Brown.
Pierre Paget hanging around before the game tonight downstairs in the bowels of the stadium was saying, don't you wish that some of these could be afternoon games? I imagine a day like this on players and coaches has to be as traumatic as anything they go through as hockey people.
But the last 2 days, best way to spend Easter Sunday. They're hopping around more than the rabbit.
Now back of the North Star net, Murphy. 3 minutes to go in the North Star power play. Minnesota already in front 1-0 with a power play tip in from Barber. Now it's dumped into the Chicago zone. Madonna put it behind the net. McRae lost the handle there. Millen cleared it right to the North Stars. Madonna trying to center one. Here's a quick shot and a save by Millen on Bellows. Now Yanni wants a whistle if he can get it. Van Helleman's been slow to toot the whistle in these board pile-ups, and he's not going to blow it here. The North Stars then dig it out. Neil Broughton at the far point, up the boards of Bellows. Trying to center it. Wilson picked it up. Are changing, so Wilson's on a solo effort here, and he tries to draw a penalty, but no call by Van Helleman, and out come the North Stars. McRae. There's going to be another Hawk penalty. Savard behind the play got tangled with Neil Broughton, and Chicago's going to be 2 men short. Savard arguing with Van Helleman. He better be careful or he's going to get more than just the minor. Meanwhile, Neil Broughton is saying, why isn't it a major penalty? I've been cut. Now he's showing Van Helleman that he's been cut.
Well, things going from bad to worse. Savard tries to hook the stick of Broughton and missed the stick, and the stick came up and clipped Broughton. The North Stars want Savard to be gone. Broughton trying to...
Neil Broughton looking for that 5-minute major against Savard, but does not appear that he's going to get it.
Well, now the officials, the linesmen, are throwing Savard out of the game. This is really... It's a discretionary call, and it's the official, the linesman. Both linesmen came over and made the call. Van Helleman whistled 2. He took him to the box 2. Then in further discussion with his other officials, they're throwing Savard out. Poor call. Considering the circumstances, Brown has been gone. It's a discretionary call. Game 7. Savard is gone, and that's an unbelievable situation. I can't believe they're making that call. Because Van Hellemond ruled 2 minutes.
You're right on. Well, there's no doubt that Andy Van Hellemond's interpretation was a 2-minute penalty.
He's the official. He's the head guy.
And he was
changed his mind. That call, it wasn't the official, that's for sure. So Brown gone and Savard gone. 2 minutes, 18 seconds to go on the first 5-minute major. 2:23 to go in the first period.
Well, it'll be a while before we can play any more of this period. I wonder if Van Hellemond's considering, well, there is some garbage on the ice. It's not too bad yet. But if it gets much worse, I wonder if he'll consider sending the teams to the locker room here. We'll see how long it takes for the mess to be cleaned up. But now Van Hellemond over to the Hawk bench explaining to Mike Keenan exactly why he changed his mind. It is very clear that he did change his mind. He initially ruled 2 minutes, and either or both Swede Knox and Wayne Bonney talked him into or led him to gave him enough information that he decided to change his mind and make it a 5-minute major.
Well, the different ways of getting this major. Savard forechecking after Doug Wilson was pulled down, tried to hook Broughton's stick. He's trying to hook the stick quickly. He accidentally clips him in the side of the head. That was totally unintentional. And Savard now, probably in tears, leaves the ice in one of the most important games in the history, maybe of the franchise, right at this time. And clearly, Brown's was a different situation. It drew blood and was right in the mouth of Barber, but that didn't draw any blood. Van Hellemond ruled a 2-minute minor originally. He went up on the board. Then he discussed it with the linesman, and one of the linesmen made the call, told him it should be a 5-minute major. Who has priority here? Who made the call originally? Van Hellemond did.
Well, the linesmen do not make the call, but Van Hellemond decided to change his mind because obviously there was a very strenuous argument put forth by one or both of the linesmen, but it is obviously Van Hellemond's final decision.
And Neil Broughton's out there without a mark on his face on the point on the power play. So the Blackhawks in a heap of trouble. They lose their most solid defenseman, Keith Brown, and they lose their most offensive threat, their most exciting player, Dennis Savard. And Broughton is still out there.
Let's get a look at Neil Broughton from the other side. I wonder if we can get him in a face-first type shot. I did not detect any cut a few moments ago, but he clearly right away, when Van Hellemond first made the call, was hoping for 5 minutes. He was trying to influence him that way. He did not, but the linesman did, and the Chicago Blackhawks are in a heap of trouble. A 2-man advantage. Here's Gagne to Neil Broughton. The shot. Bella never saw it. Went wide. Behind the net, Gagne. Got help from Dahlen. Now Gagne in the near circle. Gagne to the line. Murphy. Put it to Neil Broughton. Broughton trying to center it. Bellows put it in front. Yanni blocked the pass to Bob Murray. Shot it around the boards, but Broughton holds it in. Broughton to Gagne in the deep slot. Put it to Murphy, walking into the near circle. Stops along the boards. Back to Gagne. Now Broughton to Gagne again. His long shot tipped. Millen rebound. Millen again. Rebound. He stopped another one. 3 chances for Brian Bellows. And Greg Millen with his best sequence of the game.
He better be at his best, that's for sure. Casey's been brilliant in the first 10 minutes. Now Millen's going to be called upon to make a lot of great saves. Kicks the first one away, dives back, makes the second one on his side. Bellows can't put it over him. So 3 chances there, thwarted by Millen's play.
In the regular season, the Blackhawks were shorthanded by 2 men 22 times. How many goals do you think were scored against them out of 22 times being 2 men short? A meager 1. Only once out of 22 times that Chicago allow a goal while they were 2 men down. Neil Broughton with a little scrape over his left eye. And as a result of that, Dennis Savard is done. And it was really an amazing turn of events because very clearly Van Hellemond initially signaled, and it was his interpretation was going to be a 2-minute penalty, and the linesman changed his mind. Here's Larry Murphy, near circle to Modano. Out to the line, Murphy. Now again to Modano. They play catch. Modano now walks in, trying to center it. Deflected away by Larmer. Not out, though. Into the far corner, it's Bellows. Gave it to Broughton. Now to the near point, Murphy. 1 minute left on the first Hawk penalty. Here's Neil Broughton with a shot. Shot it wide. And it caroms all the way back to center ice. Now we go into the final minute of the opening period. Broughton back over the Chicago line. Dropped it to Murphy. Murphy to the corner. Modano. Gave it back to Murphy. Threw it across to Bellows to Broughton. Touch pass to Murphy on the near side. Murphy hangs on. Walks into the corner, then center it. Bellows, quick shot and a save by Millen. Rebound, Conroy. Clears it out to center ice. Murphy right back over the line for Gagne, cutting up the slot, shooting. Millen again. And Gilbert clears. Greg Millen with a great sequence here. 20 seconds left on the first penalty. Here's Aaron Broughton. His shot deflects into the crowd. And listen to the stadium crowd.
Forever to kill this off. Obviously, you'd have to give them the momentum, but still a lot of time left on the power play. With only 15 seconds remaining on the 2-man advantage. And 20 seconds to go in the period. A backhand shot on the feed from Murphy. Millen kicked it away on Gagne's backhand, and then Gilbert was able to swat it into the neutral zone. North Stars came right back, but the shot deflected. The face-off originates from where the shot deflected into the seats.
Seconds for the period. Larmer wins the draw to Bob Murray, knocked down by Berezan. Now came free, but not until after the whistle had sounded. And there's a lot of folks in this rink that would like to know why that wasn't a penalty. One thing Andy Van Hellemond will not do, and that's buckle to any sort of pressure or any outside influences. He is always been not reluctant to make the tough call or not make the tough call. Overtime, playoff, seventh game doesn't make any difference to him. He is pretty standard and consistent that way. He is unafraid and will not be intimidated. 13 seconds for the period. Larmer and Aaron Broughton now to the right of Millen. Here's the draw, taken by Bob Murray, and he clears. And the North Stars, I think, will run out of time. They are not going to get off a shot, and the first Hawk penalty is over. And a great finish to this first period for Chicago. They were in danger of letting it get away from them here at the tail end of the first, but terrific penalty killing backstop by some outstanding goaltending from Greg Millen keeps the game close. 14 Minnesota shots, 11 Chicago shots in the period. The only goal, a Don Barber power play deflection from Brian Bellows at 9:02, and we said that often these 5-minute majors have a way of turning the tide. The Hawks not only took one, but two. They're period, but there has been nobody in this series that has had more scoring chances and better ones than Steve Larmer, and his shooting percentage and the good opportunities that he's had not nearly where he would like it to be.
He's been the steadiest performer. Only 2 goals, 3 assists. He's done a great job killing penalties. And in Game 6, the Hawks had more chances when they were shorthanded than they did when they had their own power play. So this will have to be the case for them. North Stars Stars, on the other hand, trying to make it really tough on the Blackhawks with one power play goal. Trying to add to that total here with 2.5 minutes to go to start the period.
Here's Modano to Bellows on right wing, cutting over the Hawk line. Bellows shot it around the boards. Comes to the near side. Larmer couldn't get past Broughton. Now jammed it loose. There'll be a penalty coming. Bob Murray went down. The North Stars will be whistled for an infraction here. And that'll take care of just about the rest of this Minnesota power play.
Bob Murray went down as he and Larmer fought for the puck just along the boards inside the line. Larmer lost possession. Bob Murray, in his attempt to get to it, dove. Barber barely had the stick on the side of Bob Murray, but that was enough as far as Van Hellemond saw, and a power play nullified. Now 15 seconds left on the 5-minute major other than the 2 minutes. So a brief power play at the end if there's not another penalty. Well, Barber for hooking. It really helps the Blackhawks cause.
Gagne get ready to the left of Casey. Here's the draw. Larmer won it to Bob Murray. Tees it up. Shooting. Didn't get through. Back at center is Yanni. And Yanni off the glass down the length of the ice. Larmer hustling after it, but Siren will get there first and put the touch on it for the icing call. Now Siren and Larmer in a wrestling match, but kept apart.
Well, if it hit Siren and hit him in the skate, it certainly didn't hit his stick because Larmer came from behind and hooked him. He had one hand on his stick, so good call by the official. Looked from here that it was the skate, but good job by Siren to get the stick on it as he was tied up by Larmer. Then Larmer puts him down.
North Star lineup because of an injury to Frantisek Musil. The North Stars hope they will have a date on Wednesday night in St. Louis. If the North Stars win, they'll open in the arena in St. Louis Wednesday. If the Blackhawks win, the Blues would come here to Chicago Stadium on Wednesday night. Creighton and Gagne get ready for the draw. Now the face-off to Bellows, trying to center it. Wilson steals. Doug Wilson got to the line with a long shot, missing the net. It's on the mesh in behind, and that will draw the whistle.
Well, that was a quick whistle. Usually it takes a little longer, but Wilson just missed on the far side.
Jeremy Roenick, who had an outstanding middle part of the year, but at the tail end, he really tailed off scoring-wise. Just 12 points in the last 21 games of the regular season for Chicago. And here in the postseason, 3 goals and an assist in the first 6 of this series. And with Savard out, you'll be seeing a lot, I think, of number 27 for the balance of this game, Jeremy Roenick.
Whenever he was called upon to do that, he came through brilliantly. Started his whole season on the right track when Savard got a misconduct and Troy Murray was ejected and he had to play in a game against Toronto when they were down. Roenick had a couple of goals late in the game and really turned his whole season around.
Shoot it in. Still 4 skaters aside for the next minute and a half. Neil Broughton bumped behind the goal, but able to get out of there with it. Then feeds Chambers. Feeding Aaron Broughton over the line. A long shot, and that sails up off the glass. Neil Broughton trying to hold it in. Right up on the boards. Yanni came up with it. And his pass is intercepted, and Giles starts the North Stars back. Banks it to Aaron Broughton. Aaron dumping it in. There's Yanni. Trent Yanni works his way to center. Chips it into Minnesota territory. Kurt Giles rolls it up the boards. Duchesne, a touch pass. Berezan too well covered, though, by Roenick.
stick for the longest time. No call, and Manson coming in. Took it down the left wing and cranked one up. Casey saw it all the way and very confidently gloved it. Seconds remaining on the major to Savard, 26 on Barber's hooking penalty.
Face-off will be to the right of John Casey. Here's the draw. By Murphy. Larry Murphy to Searin. He rolls it back into the Blackhawks zone. Millen clears it himself to center. Gagne picks it up for the North Stars. Creighton poke checked him. Now Wilson stole it. Has to wait for Creighton to get onside. Flipped it into the North Stars zone. And just as quickly Searin taps it out. Here's Barber out of the penalty box. Into the Chicago zone to Bellows. He centered one. It hit Gagne and Karam's back to center ice. And now the Chicago penalty is over and both teams are back at full strength. Gilbert into the North Star zone to Sutter. He couldn't handle the pass and it's shot back to the neutral area. Murray cranks it back in. Bad hop in front of the net, but nobody home for Chicago. Now here's a Presley near steal, but Casey swats it away from him. To Sutter in the corner, centering. Presley scores! Wayne Presley! His fourth goal of the series! And Sutter dug it out of the corner, put it in front where Presley was alone. This game is tied at 1.
Casey all series has been very good at handling it. Coughed it up early in the first. He coughs it up for Sutter this time. Comes out of the net. Karam's out in front. It comes back. It's intercepted. Deflected back to Casey. Now Casey on the backhand, picked off by Sutter. He goes to the corner. He banks it off Casey's stick and right to Presley, and Presley makes him pay. And the stadium crowd is really hot now. After the Hawks kill off that shorthanded situation, 2 men for over 2 minutes, and they come out of the gate and tie it up.
Here's Roenick in over the line, trying to cut for the net. Couldn't get around Wilkinson, though. Now Roenick poked it free out of the corner, but right to Aaron Broughton. He feeds Giles. Kurt Giles looking back to Aaron Broughton, but the pass didn't click. Marmer a steal ahead for Roenick. Oh, great play by Wilkinson. Neil Wilkinson got in the passing lane. If he doesn't deflect that pass, Roenick's in alone. On a Hawk player change, but Wilkinson, a great read for the North Stars. Here's Thomas, a long shot. He missed the net. Conroy held it in, but his pass is stolen. And shot back the other way by Wilkinson. There's Dave Manson. Chips it out to center ice. Now Duchesne lost it to Thomas. Back in over the line. Thomas the shot and a save by Casey. Rebound to the near corner. Creighton and Berezan bumped there. Creighton trying to muscle it out behind the net. Centered one big. Here's a chance. They score! Presley! Wayne Presley scored only 6 goals all year. He's got 5 in this series. 2 in a row right now. And the Blackhawks lead 2-1.
Well, that's why 2 guys don't really win the thing for you. You need a team effort. Presley coming through in a big way. In game 2 when the Hawks were down 3-0. Had a great effort. Berezan's all over. Finally a penalty to be called. The puck was out to Casey. Casey can't handle it. Presley beats him to it with Casey down. He buries it. A minute and 6 seconds after he ties it up, he gets his 2nd of the game and 5th of the series. Give Adam Creighton some great effort here. Some great credit for the effort.
2 goals in 66 seconds, and Elvis lives. He is alive and kicking at Chicago Stadium.
Page calls a timeout to try to settle his team down, get the crowd out of it, but I don't think it's going to work. As far as the crowd is concerned, it might do some good to settle his troops down. Well, Presley, you said it, Patrick only had 6 goals all season and got the last one late in the year. He got one next one came a minute 6 seconds later.
Wayne Presley this year spent more time in Chateau Bow Wow, Mike Keenan's doghouse, than he spent on the ice. He played in only 49 games, sparingly in most of those. He never played in more than 8 straight games at any time during the year. But has he ever risen to the occasion in postseason play? Presley, with 2 goals in 66 seconds, and in this series has nearly doubled his season total. 6 all year in the regular season, 5 now in this 7-game series.
Presley in the first period had a couple of great chances as well. Right off the bat, the first or second shift, he had 2 good chances.
Sutter assisted the first goal at the 3-minute mark. Then Creighton, with great muscle work and hard work behind the North Star net, helped set up the second goal. Creighton and Thomas assisting at 4:06. The draw, cleared into the Chicago zone. Taken by Dave Manson. Tips it up the boards. Berezan trying to keep it in. Couldn't do it. Here comes Presley out. And Thomas over the line. Cleared in behind the net. Chambers. The near board. McCray got a big hit there from Thomas. Now Creighton trying to dig it out. He did to Presley. Here's the shot. And a save by Casey. Rebound Churla. Shane Churla. Then Chambers with a long shot, and Millen kicks that aside. Now out comes Thomas. Steve Thomas in on Giles, and they collide at the North Star line. Kurt Giles able to take it away with a good play. Now his pass stolen by Manson in his own end. Here it is to center, Troy Murray. 3-on-3 over the line, left it for Gilbert. A shot blocked at the North Star defense by Giles. And now Gagne the other way. Dave Gagne got her on Wilson, stepping in over the line, shoots one. Millen to his right, makes the save, and he holds on. 14.5 minutes to go in the second period. And Wayne Elvis Presley is alive and well in Chicago Stadium. The Blackhawks lead the North Stars 2-1. We can literally say that in this series, Wayne Presley has gone from the outhouse to the penthouse.
Without a doubt, he really was not, he himself was not happy either, that's for sure, with the situation. Had a great playoff last year. Hurt his shoulder when he was hit from behind and end of the series in Calgary. He didn't have surgery. The shoulder didn't come around. Then had to have surgery in training camp. It never really got going.
Now the play in the Hawk zone. Gilbert failed to get it out. Gagne's quick shot didn't get through. Barber to the corner. Bumps there with Wilson. They wrestle along the boards. And now the whistle is Gagne and Lemieux squaring off, but Swede Knox got in between. Now Lemieux and Tenorti with words. Here's Gilbert and Wilkinson squaring off, and they're going to drop them. Wilkinson and Greg Gilbert dropped the gloves, and Wayne Bonney got there before they could come together. Well, the linesman able to stave off that potential problem.
Well, it started with Gagne and Lemieux, and then Tenorti came in, and then Wilkinson came in, and Gilbert separated. Well, Gagne and Lemieux started it, and now Tenorti is trying to get Lemieux into. It's a situation for both teams, and neither one of them can afford to take unnecessary penalties. It's too critical a time. It's a 2-1 hockey game. Both teams have to keep their cool.
Paget trying to circle the wagons here for his troops to withstand this Chicago. Presley, on the other hand, questioned why he wasn't used a little bit more than he was. And those two, Keenan and Presley, went back and forth more than once this year, but I imagine they'll be on pretty friendly terms the next day or two anyway. All the penalties offset, as Dale mentioned, and here's Steve Armour to center ice. Goulet over the line. His pass broke.
broken up. Goulet held it in, centered one. Here's Roenick. Good poke check by Casey. As Roenick tried to pull it to his forehand, Casey came out to poke check it and save himself having to make a tough stop. Back of the net, Chambers. He feeds Aaron Broughton. Broughton on the left side, dumping it in. Sutter. Bumped by Gavin to the corner. Neil Broughton then dug it out. Centered one. Here's Giles moving and shooting, and a save by Millen. Rebound taken by Adam Creighton. Creighton carries it over the North Star line, but Goulet had been knocked down and went skidding in there. Offside with 13 minutes remaining in the second period. Chicago 2, Minnesota.
Game 7 at the Northlands Coliseum. The Edmonton Oilers without a shot on goal up to this point, but Glenn Anderson charges down the right wing, beats Teppo Numminen, slides in and beats Stefan Beauregard for Anderson, his first goal of the playoffs. Edmonton leads it 1-0, but Tomas Steen answers back. It's 1-1 in the first.
Minnesota. Now Sutter clearing it into the Minnesota zone. Giles at his pocket, nearly picked by Creighton. Behind the net it goes, taken by Duchesne, chips it up the left wing boards, and it winds up at center right. Wilson had a problem with Dowland, who nearly stole it. Now Modano keeping it in. To Duchesne trying to center. Modano, quick shot up into the air, and Wilson bats it away to Creighton. He bounces one out to center right. Flipping one to Goulet, but Murphy broke that play up. And now Larry Murphy. Arts the North Stars back. Modano. There to center. Dowland. Murphy or Modano then got run over by Lemieux after he made that pass, and Modano right off to the North Star bench. Here comes Steve Thomas out of his own end. Thomas steps to the line, ran into his own man there, Bob Murray. And now Manson gets it into the Minnesota zone. Presley to the near corner. Presley got turned around by Giles, then Lemieux dug it out, gave it to Thomas in the corner, trying to center one, and Presley couldn't get any wood on it. Churla does, feeding Berezan. Barry Berezan knocked down by Manson at the neutral zone. And now it's shot up over the glass and into the crowd. And McRae and Presley get the sticks up. And now Churla slugs Steve Thomas. I don't think any of the officials saw that. And a couple of potential outbursts here. But so far, confrontation without consummation. And now stick work going between Thomas and Chambers. It started when, after the whistle, McRae bumped to Yanni from behind, then Presley, coming to the aid of his teammate, challenged McRae. And while that was going on, elsewhere, Churla, a straight right hand into the face, and Thomas knocked his helmet off. Several penalties around the way here. 12 minutes to go in the second period. Chicago 2, Minnesota 1.
I think Chambers, at the end of it, got his glove into the face of Thomas, and that's the penalty that's gone up on the clock. So the Blackhawks will get their second power play of the game. The North Stars have been credited with 3 power plays, but they had back-to-back 5-minute major penalties called against the Blackhawks, and a 2-man advantage for 2.5 minutes.
2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 27, Shane Churla, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Blackhawk penalties, number 17, Wayne Presley, 2 minutes for roughing. Blackhawk penalty number 32, Steve Thomas.
So the extra minor goes to Shane Churla. Chicago heads to the power play with Creighton, Roenick, and Larmer up in front. Bob Murray and Wilson, the point men. Here comes Wilson out of his own zone. Plenty of room to center, putting Roenick over the line. Gavin stole it, though. And now Berezan feeds Gavin into the Chicago zone. Roenick stopped him, but Berezan carried it to the corner. Rolled it over to the far side. Now a steal by Gavin, but he mishandles it, and here comes Larmer on right wing to center. Larmer in on the defense, centered one. Here's Roenick behind the net, put it to the line. Wilson to Bob Murray on the near side. The shot hit somebody in front. Rebound to the near corner. Roenick Pokes it loose up the boards to Bob Murray. Murray shot it around behind the net. Larmer there. Larmer to the far point. Wilson. Across to Bob Murray. His long shot deflected over the glass into the crowd.
Bob Murray's shot, if it gets by, I think it might have hit Larmer in the back of the leg. Casey was going down. He was screened. He was going high to the blocker's side, but if it does hit Larmer, it's a power play goal. But that's the third time tonight where a Blackhawk has been hit by his own teammate in front of the net. Once Gilbert had an empty net on a Casey giveaway in the first period, and Gilbert's attempt hit Lemieux. Bob Murray added to the lineup tonight for his experience.
Plenty of it there is. This is 100th career playoff game.
And very valuable on the power play. He and Bob, or I should say, Wilson have been together on the point many times on the power play. They know each other quite well. But Wilson has a great shot. Bob Murray has an excellent shot as well.
Murray at the near point, trying to flip one in front, just missed Larmer and got through to Casey, and he'll cover. Again, we have pushing and shoving after the whistle, and Van Hellemond with an instructional finger to Mark Tenorti. Looked like a warning type situation from Van Hellemond.
Most of the series has been that type of situation. After the whistle, a lot of pushing and shoving and conversation. Not that many altercations compared to the regular season, but a lot of penalty minutes nevertheless. 52 seconds remaining on the second Blackhawk power play.
Now here's the draw. Tenorti. Back of the net. Unable to clear it. Goulet then lost the handle to Wilkinson, and he hammers it down the length of the ice. Here comes Wilson. Doug Wilson. Dumps this one in. Casey pushed it to the near corner. Tenorti knocked down there, but Gavin gathers it in and clears it into the Chicago zone. Bob Murray with time for one more power play rush. Over the line to Goulet, whose shot sails up over the glass into the crowd.
The Hawk power play continues to struggle. 5 for 42. Michel Goulet, who played briefly in game 1, sat out 3 games in a row. The first time in his career he's ever had to sit because he wasn't injured. But in game 5, a brilliant night when he played with Savard and Larmer, got a goal, had many more opportunities.
This is the 70th playoff game of Michel Goulet's career. He's got 35 goals postseason play. There's the most experienced postseason player Chicago has, Dwayne Sutter, in playoff game number 148 here tonight. And he's seen a lot of ice time, much more than he's been accustomed to in this series. There's the draw, dumped into the Hawk zone. The North Star penalty is now over, and both teams are back at full strength. We're halfway through the second, 2-1 Hawks, as Manson got it to Sutter, whose pass is broken up. Back to his own end. Yanni has a problem with Neil Broughton as they bump to the corner. Now kicked loose. Behind the net is Aaron Broughton. Broughton trying to center one. Didn't get through. Now here's Bellows trying to stuff it in. Couldn't do it. Neil Broughton put it to the line. Tenorti's long shot blocked by a skidding Sutter. Wayne Sutter gave up the body to make the shot block. And it's cleared back into the North Star zone. Tenorti fails to clear it. Here's Larmer's pass deflecting, just missed Gilbert. And now on the near side, Larmer got it to the corner. Gilbert trying to pick his way in front. He does. His shot is blocked though. And now the North Stars Madano leads Aaron Broughton. His long shot deflected by Wilson wide of the net. Doug Wilson up the right wing boards. Roenick tied up by Dowland. Then Duchesne dug it out, centered it. Dowland turns in behind Goulet. Poke checked it there to Conroy. He couldn't get it past Dowland though. Dowland got help from Duchesne. Duchesne walks to the slot on his backhand. He lost it. And Roenick will clear it the length. The Hawks will accept an icing call here. With 8.5 to go in the second. 2-1 Chicago.
It is. Peter Sellers on the organ. Here's the Minky.
I always wondered whatever happened to the welcome back Cotter. Now we know where he is. Now here's the draw. Steve Thomas to center. Fakes the shot. Steps over the line. Got bumped into the side boards, though, by Murphy, who whacked it loose to the neutral zone. Here's Berezan. Looking for Gavin over the line. The pass too far for him. Then came to Barber with a shot. O'Millan almost overkicked that to the left. It hit him on the inside of the left pad. Unfortunately for Millen, stayed there. Otherwise, he might have been scrambling a bit.
Anytime you stop Don Barber, if you're a Blackhawk, you're doing something, no matter where it comes from. He has had a great career in his brief tenure in the league against the Blackhawks. 7 goals in regular season play. Well, he played half a year last year, his first full season. He let it go, and Millen overkicked it. You're right, it almost resulted in the tying goal.
Don Barber, in his career, including the playoffs, has scored 25 goals in his career. 9 of them have come against Chicago. McMillan, even through the mask, looks like he's got a pretty intense flavor to him. Here's Seared, a long shot, and Millen stopped it. Rebound centered right through the goal mouth by Murphy. Now to the near board. Presley able to clear it to center. Murphy couldn't get there. Creighton does. Murphy a diving poke check. As Presley nearly set up that opportunity for Creighton, but Larry Murphy with a great effort to thwart the Hawk rush. Now dumped in behind the Minnesota goal. Murphy couldn't pick it up. Roenick does. Roenick to the near corner turning. Got away from Berezan. Now walks the wraparound. Right through the goal crease it went. And Roenick now with the steal. Shoots. Casey rebound. They score! John Casey couldn't corral it. And the Blackhawks have scored to make it 3-1.
Well, I think Goulet finally tucked it under. Jeremy Roenick tried the first wraparound. Casey deflected. Then Casey, I should say the North Star defenseman, had it stripped away by Roenick. Roenick then, from a sharp angle, tried one stuff in. It didn't work. He hacked at it again. Hacked at it another time. The first wraparound deflected just wide. Picked up, I believe, by Wilkinson. The puck stripped away from him, and Berezan had it poked away from him, and then Roenick finally, I think, had enough steam to put it in on his own. Goulet was there as well. But Berezan, a veteran who played with the Flames, had it stripped away. A dangerous move on his part, and Roenick makes him pay. For his third whack, he finally tucked it in off the arm of Casey.
Jeremy Roenick's 4th goal of the series. And the Hawks with a 3-1 lead. Here's Bellows trying to center one. Through to the far side. Bob Murray up the boards to Jocelyn Lemieux. Now Sutter. Wayne Sutter shoots it in there. Taken by Giles. Kurt Giles to Wilkinson. He hammers it back into the Chicago zone. Doug Wilson will put the touch on it for an icing call with 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. There's a penalty coming up here.
Well, no, I don't know if it's a penalty, but Broughton just slashed Dave Manson from behind after Wilson beat him to a puck. He fell into the corner, and he gave Manson a two-hander.
No penalty, though. 3-1 Chicago.
A 3-1 lead with 3 straight goals here in the second period.
Neil Broughton in on Yoni on the far side, stopping, centered one, and great coverage there by Presley in his own end against Bellows. Out comes Creighton. Creighton over the North Star line, left it for Thomas. His shot up off the glass. Conroy to the far corner, digs it out behind the net. Conroy got a bump. Creighton in after it, works against Tenorti, and then Aaron Broughton came to take it away. Broughton's pass picked off by Thomas, cuts for the net, shoots one, and a save by Casey. Rebound in behind the net. Now Larmer dug it out in front to Roenick. Fires, he scores! Jeremy Roenick! After the Larmer steal, 4 unanswered goals for Chicago. The
when Broughton's clearing attempt was picked off, which resulted in a scoring chance for Thomas. Casey made the save. Then the puck intercepted again by Larmer, who got it out to Roenick. Roenick pumped once and then finally put it by. First Thomas on the intercept from Broughton. Then Larmer's wraparound. He's hooked, loses possession, gets it back, gets it into the slot. Roenick, time and room under the crossbar, over the blocker, and the Blackhawks with a commanding now 4-1 lead with 4 goals in this second period.
Dogged persistence by Steve Larmer to enable that play to remain alive. He had it knocked away, but persevered and got to the loose puck and set the table for Roenick. And here come the North Stars, now in desperate straits, down 4-1. Larmer with a steal, clears it back into the North Star zone. Wilkinson back. Neil Wilkinson has room to center, steps over the Hawk line. Poke check there. Gilbert going to be 2-on-1 the other way. Looking for Larmer, but the pass hopped over his stick, and it results in an offside call against the Hawks. 5.5 to go.
Said it, Jeremy Roenick was going to be looked at to take the place of Savard. He turned his whole season around in December when he filled in for Savard. And he's been brilliant here in the second period with a goal and an assist. Wayne Presley, 2 goals and an assist.
Now Chambers comes out of his own end, long pass deflecting into the Chicago zone. Yanni has to scurry back for it. Around the boards, Presley deflected it not out. Tenorti trying to flip it up the boards, though got too much, and it sails up into the crowd.
Pierre Pagé down by 3 goals with 5 minutes to go in the second period. Throws out Basil McRae and Churla. Maybe to stir something up, maybe to turn the momentum around. He's trying to do anything to get this game turned.
Well, it didn't last long. A shift change on now for Pagé's North Stars.
Pagé screaming at his defenseman. First he looked like he gave his assistant coach quite a stare, and then now he's berating his defensemen, trying to get them stirred up. Costly giveaways and turnovers in their own zone have really turned this around. Pagé says that this team knows how to win, but sometimes they forget how.
He says that the worst thing that can happen to the North Stars, and it's been happening all year, is when they've had success and start getting some credit, that's when they forget what it took to get them to success. And coming off that big win in Game 6, that's what he was fearful of here in Game 7. The Hawks lead it here late in the second, 4-1.
Should be credit number 27, Jeremy Roenick.
4.5 minutes remaining in the second period, and you think back to the tail end of the first. Mike Keenan's team down 1-0. 2 of their top players get 5-minute penalties and the automatic game misconducts to go with it. They were shorthanded by 2 men for over 2 minutes. How much worse could it get? And they have turned negatives into positives here with a roaring second period.
Sometimes that happens. You get so darn upset with the official and the 2 players being ejected. I think you turn that into a positive force that killed off that 2-man advantage. Really helped them. Millen was brilliant. Started the second period down a man for 2.5 minutes. Barber took a penalty, so that helped their cause. And then some great work by Presley to score his 4th and 5th goals. And some turnovers by the North Stars, and the Blackhawks really having a tremendous second period.
Neil Broughton with a shot. He missed the net. Winds up back to the North Star zone. No Savard, their top offensive player. No Brown, who's been as good as anybody on their blue line. And the Hawks in 15 minutes have 15 shots on goal in this period. Who would have thunk it? Well, the home team did. They refused to be denied. But the North Stars now have to try to salvage something if they can here in the second. And they're going to need a big-time comeback in the third period. I think their goal here is to see if they can get a little pressure on the Hawk goal the last 4 minutes of the period, because Greg Millen has not had too much work here in this second period so far. Now it's center, Shane Churla dumping it in. Manson around the boards, taken by Presley. Presley flipped dropping it into the Minnesota zone. Giles there, put it to Duchesne. Eight-time Duchesne over the Hawk line, dropped it back. The shot from Dowling deflects wide. McRae behind the net, trying to center one. Presley picked it off, cleared it ahead, and it's broken up by Tenorti, or the Hawks would have had a 2-on-1. And a couple of times here in the second period, Wayne Presley's come up big in his own end, and that, more than probably anything else, is what got him into Mike Keenan's doghouse earlier this year. He didn't feel like he was a good enough player defensively.
Keenan thought because of his size, if he wasn't scoring, he was a liability, so that's why he was in and out of the lineup. But he made two great defensive plays in this period, plus some good forechecking in the other end to afford himself 2 goals in the early part of the second period. In the back-checking roll earlier, he prevented a pass to Bellows, and that he was in the right position there to strip the puck and take it into the neutral zone. Maybe it takes other players a little longer to get the message. He really has gotten the message in the playoffs. He sat out game 1 after a strong game 80. He thought he'd start. He sat out game 1 and really came out in game 2 with a shorthanded goal and a power play goal.
Don Barber's pass picked off. Gilbert looking for Lemieux, but it didn't click. Well, Lemieux got hammered from behind, but the play goes on as Wilson cleared it behind the North Star net. Casey lost the handle. Troy Murray, he scored! Oh, he shot it wide! Troy Murray had a stick tied up by Tenorti, had a wide open net looking at him, but he couldn't connect. Madonna around Wilson the other way, shoots, Millen! Rebound! It's underneath Bob Murray. Now he gets up to play it. And Murray puts it to the right wing boards, and Presley. Millen with maybe his best save of the period a moment ago on a flying Mike Madonna. Now into the North Star zone. Great, got a big hit from Wilkinson. Back to the net, Thomas. Dug it out, but his pass is stolen by Giles. And Kurt Giles clears it to center ice. Barber sends a long shot wide of the net. Now Gagne in front to Barber, right up the slot, a backhander deflecting, a shot, Millen to save, rebound, big scramble. Where's the puck? The whistle sound. Greg Millen holds off a Minnesota flurry at the tail end of the second period. Welcome to those of you who are watching Edmonton take a 2-1 lead over Winnipeg in their game. Pat Foley and Dale Talon in Chicago Stadium was all, well, not all, but Minnesota had a 1-0 lead after 1. The Hawks have lost 2 of their top players to 5-minute majors and game misconduct. Both Keith Brown and Dennis Savard were banished from the game in the late part of the first period, but the Hawks have turned those negatives into positives and have scored 4 straight here in the second period.
They better not let up either. Madonna comes around, uses his body, shields the puck. Millen, his best save of the second period. Bob Murray falls on top, but then decides to throw it into the corner. And then right after that, good move by Barber, goes to the backhand. Millen makes the save. The rebound squirts loose. He gets a piece of Broughton's attempt, but I think Presley helped Millen stack the pads and made sure the puck wouldn't get by Millen to force the face-off to the left with 1:53 to go in the second period. North Stars trying to get back in it.
Manson cleared it to center. Tenorti there, dumping it back in. Millen put it to the near board. Larmer banks it to center. Manson 3-on-2 over the Minnesota line. Manson trying to center one, and Chambers broke up the play. Tenorti now. Give it to Gavin. Lift it to the Chicago line. Now Tenorti takes a long shot, missing the target. And Bob Murray on a rough ride from Gavin. But now Larmer picks it up. Cleared to center. Manson 2-on-2 in over the North Star line. And it peels off for a player change as he dumps it in. Duchesne on left wing.
1 minute to play in the period.
Back into the Chicago zone. We're into the final minute of the second period. Steve Conroy cleared it to the near side. Roenick there. Roenick and Presley have each scored 2 goals in the period. Here's Presley trying to center it. Giles there to pick it off. Whacked it out to center, and Conroy puts it right back in. Now shot ahead to Duchesne. Into the Blackhawks zone to Neil Broughton from behind. Roenick tied his stick up as he tried to shoot. Here comes Roenick flying back on the right side, trying to cut for the net. And Wilkinson able to poke check it away. Thomas back of the goal. Got help there from Presley. Presley Threw it in behind the net. 15 seconds left in the period. Tenorti lost it to Thomas. Put it in there deep. Now Wilkinson cleared it not out. Here's Sutter with a quick shot. Wilkinson's hurt. Michel Goulet drilled him into the end boards. Wilkinson slow to get up. Now scrapes himself up off the ice in the second period. Has come to an end. A standing room only crowd on its feet here at Chicago Stadium. A 4-goal eruption. 15 shots in the period for Chicago, while Minnesota managed a mere 8. And the two-period totals 26-22, favoring the Blackhawks. 4 unanswered goals for Chicago in the period. Wayne Presley started. Earlier in this series, Doug Wilson got a high cross-check from one of the Broughtons, I believe, and he's had a difficult time with his throat, and swallowing from time to time has been tough for him the last few days. Just got a little high stick there. Now getting some help from Mike Gapsky on the Hawk bench. Meanwhile, Gilbert dumps it into the North Star zone. Tenorti to the far side. Barber couldn't get it out. Back to the net it goes. Troy Murray got a rough ride from Tenorti. Now they wrestle along the boards. And Van Helleman will stop the play here.
Hawks have been terrific all year with the lead. Both these teams very good with the lead. Neither one of these teams very good coming from behind. Hawks with 33-1-2 with the lead in the regular season. Only lost one time. And they did it because of the conditioning and the short shifts and the good forechecking. That's how they did it. And if they are not the best conditioned team in the league, they're told they are, and they think they believe they are. Sure, the North Stars, though, will not quit. They'll really give it all they have here in their last gasp effort here in the third. Funny things have happened throughout this series. It's been an up and down type series. One team's dominant, the next team has come back and dominated. Whenever one team has won, the other team has come out in the next game and taken it to the team that won the night before, or the game before.
Chambers hacks it into the Hawk zone. Barber's going to get there in the far corner. Rolls it around the board. Ryan Bellows, all 4 goals he scored in this series have come in this building. He had this one taken away, and Lemieux dumps it into the Minnesota zone. Bellows on right wing. Ryan Bellows carries it over the Hawk line on the right side. Trying to center one. Hawks had all 5 men back inside the line. Here's Thomas the other way. In on Sear and shoots one, and a save by Casey. Thomas has his own rebound. Leaves it in the corner for Creighton. Adam Creighton battles to the slot. Bellows ran him over there. Then Presley picks it up shooting. He just missed the top corner with that. And Conroy back into his own end. Conroy is pass deflecting into the penalty box. It's early in period 3 at Chicago 4, Minnesota 1. Here Paget tries to take a page out of Mike Keenan's book, a goaltender change. John Casey, for the first time in this series, will be lifted at 2:08 of the third period, and Kerry Tic-Tac Taco will come in to play goal for the North Stars.
Casey, brilliant in the regular season. 31 victories. 4 1-on-1 record against the Blackhawks with a .247 average. Brilliant in this playoff.
Wouldn't you say that if you picked the most valuable player for the North Stars in this series, wouldn't he be the man?
Definitely, without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. He's probably the most valuable player in the series.
The draw now. Doug Wilson puts it into the North Star zone, and Taco sweeps it to center ice. Hawks dumping it back in. Giles. Giles to Wilkinson. Up the boards to Dowland. Dowland fading Duchesne over the line. Leaves for Giles. Shooting. It's blocked at the defense. Now came loose in front, and Millen tried to shoot it through. Neil Broughton failed to do it. Taken by Dowland now on the near board. Out help from Duchesne. He's tied up by Goulet, though. Now Neil Broughton trying to wrestle it loose. Wilson knocked it down and takes it away. Duchesne. Bouncing one in front. Goulet picked it off, clears it back into the North Star zone. Wilkinson shot it back into the Chicago end. Yanni clearing up the near side. Murphy keeping it in. Bounce it to Berezan on the far board. Rolled it behind the net. Troy Murray there. Around to the near side. Held in by Murphy. His shot is blocked by Lemieux. And here comes Troy Murray up with it. Murray dumping it into the North Star zone. Berezan and Gilbert battle along the board. Now Tenorti gathers in a loose puck. Mark Tenorti's pass picked off by Presley. Presley over the line looking for the hat trick, but he centered one. Oh, and Creighton couldn't get any wood on it. Tenorti tried to stick up beautifully. For Creighton had a mere tap into an empty net. Good work by Mark Tenorti. Now Creighton battles behind the North Star net, trying to jam it out of there. Still muscling against Berezan. Berezan finally able to knock him down. And Thomas scoops it right back into the far corner. Berezan there, lost it to Thomas. He moves in, shoots, shot it wide. Wilson holds it in. His pass picked off though, and McRae now works his way to center where he slides it into the Chicago zone. Thomas on left wing at center. Dumping it into the North Star, and Taco shot it to the far side, and it winds up at center ice. Now Gagne or Gavin over the line. Stuart Gavin in on Conroy, trying to cut for the net. Conroy tied him up. Now taken by Bob Murray. Murray hammers it out to the North Star line. Bouncing around there, and the Hawks managed to shoot it in deep. Aaron Broughton from Minnesota. For Gagne over the line to Gavin with room. Here's the shot. Millen the save. Now plays it to Wilson. Wilson gave it to Larmer. Larmer weaving to center, then puts Van Dorp over the line. Wayne Van Dorp to the corner, trying to center one. Taco blocked the pass, and out comes Bellows for the North Star. Brian Bellows carries it in on Manson. Manson played the body and took it right off the puck. On the near side, Wilkinson and Van Dorp come together, but it slides loose back into the Minnesota zone. Tenorti dumping it back in there. Now Conroy shot it to the neutral zone. Taken by Tenorti. His pass stolen by Yanni to Conroy. There's it ahead, too far for Thomas. And back into his own end. Tenorti puts the touch on it for an icing call. 6 minutes gone in the third. Chicago 4, Minnesota 1.
Well, Kerry Taco replaced John Casey early in the period with a couple of minutes to go, and now John Casey goes back in the net.
Kerry Taco from Uusikaupunki, Finland. Whoever heard of a town that spelled U-U-W to start that? U-U-S-I-K-A-U-P-U-N-K-I. Kerry would try to spell that backwards. I wouldn't have a tongue left if I tried. There's the play in the Chicago zone. Duchesne trying to center one. Bob Murray blocks it to Manson. Dave Manson slipped it out to center ice. North Stars dump it back in. Bob Murray fires it around the boards. North Stars keep it in. Duchesne put it to the side of the net. Here's a shot and a save by Millen. A stand-up save on Dowlin, who had a good opportunity, and Bob Murray chips it out to the neutral zone. Murphy slides it ahead. Manson picked it off, though, and there's it to center ice. Now Churla back into his own end. Gave it to Murphy. Didn't have a play. Clearing to center. The Hawks dump it back in there. Murphy got knocked down, but put it away to Bellows. Brian Bellows tees up a long shot. Millen, a blocker save. Right back to Bellows. He tries to center. Rolls loose behind the net. Churla leaves it in the corner. Roenick swings it to the near side. Wilkinson holds it in. His shot deflected into the slot. Roenick there, had it, lost it, now gets it back, and feeds Larmer. Steve Larmer cranks it into the Minnesota ice. Wilkinson to Churla. Back to Neil Wilkinson. He dumps it in. Now Aaron Broughton tied up by Manson. Gagne to the corner. Unable to get it loose. Aaron Broughton does with a shot. Nice save by Millen with the left pad. Rebound to the near side. Now Conroy kicked it loose to the far board. Gagne held it into the corner. Aaron Broughton behind the net to Gavin. Stuart Gavin against Manson to the corner. Leaves it there. Creighton steals and hoists one over everybody's head back to the North Star zone.
Somebody better pick up that helmet of Bob Murray's. It's been hit. It's been responsible for some good pressure by the North Stars. It's hit it 3 times.
There's been a stop since he lost it. That was 2 shifts ago, I believe. And you're right, a couple of times the players have been chasing where they thought the puck was going to go, and it hit that helmet and stayed there. Here's Van Dorp with a long shot. Casey, the blocker, save. Now Van Dorp moves behind the net, and it's taken away by Minnesota's Chambers, carrying it back to the Blackhawk line. Bellows turned around at center ice. Sutter steals one and dumps it in. Chambers hacks it to the neutral zone. Hawks put it right back in there. Now Don Barber taking it into the Blackhawk zone. He had not reached center. This will be an icing call as Manson touches with 11 minutes to go in the third period. 4-1 Chicago as we pause for a regional break. You're watching Stanley Cup playoff action on Sports Channel America.
John.
That's to the Blackhawks' advantage. The North Stars trying to get something mounted here in the last 10 minutes or so of the third. They had very few chances. A couple of shots from sharp angles that Miller was able to handle.
The draw, cutting in center one, and Roenick couldn't get anyone on. Now Larmer, and a save rebound, hit the crossbar. It hit Casey, then came off the bar, and the North Stars come out. Neil Broughton dumping it in. Millen nearly coughed it up. Now shot it to the far side where Larmer pushed it to the North Star line.
Well, Jeremy Roenick, almost his first career playoff hat trick, came within an inch.
Dowling in traffic in the Chicago zone. Rolled it loose behind the net. Duchesne to the corner. Manson stepped into him. Al Murphy in there deep. North Stars needing 3. Have to put on the full court press here as we're halfway through the third period. Murphy trying to center it. It came right back to him. Now put it in front. Millen deflecting it right to Dowling. He shoots. He scores! Oh, Dowling off a carom. Picked up the bouncing puck and fired it by Millen low to the glove side. And the North Stars, we said, would not go away. They are within 2 now, trailing 4-2.
Well, Murphy in there deep, the defenseman putting pressure. The puck squirted past Manson, and Dahlen, pinpoint accuracy, just past the toe of Millen, inside the post. Millen deflected it right to him, and Dahlen made him pay, and the North Stars cut the lead to 4-2 with 10 minutes remaining, a lot of time. Never let up. Dahlen, who's had a strong series, one of the more consistent North Stars throughout the series.
That's his first goal of the series, but he's added 4 assists in this low-scoring opening round series. And not what you would call a typical prototype European, not the swiftest guy around. I think what you've been impressed with is two-way play and his smarts, both offensively and defensively. Here's Roenick now trying to center. Gave it to Yanni. The shot. Casey, big save. Rebound. Cleared back to center ice. Hawks dump it in. Murphy behind the net. Gave it to Mark Tenorti. Out of Bellows. Murray stopped him at the center ice red line. Back into his own end is Bellows. Bellows shoveled it up to center ice, and Chambers looking for McDonald. The pass didn't click. Murray controlled. Right up behind the net, but got help from Jocelyn Lemieux. Lemieux works his way to the neutral zone and clips it in as the Hawks continue to go for quick player changes. Dale mentioned they've used this with great success when owning a lead in the third period all year long. Now Thomas in his own end. Bounce one out to center ice. Kurt Giles, who has a degree in secondary education. There to center. Now Thomas right back in over the line. Tees it up. Fires! He just missed the far post. Held in now by Presley. Behind the net to Thomas. He got bumped by Wilkinson, but he held the puck. Shoots one. Hit Presley in front of the net. And Giles now managed to clear it out to center ice. Duchesne with a long shot. Millen missed it, but it sailed up just over top of the goal. Now Dowland in the far corner. In on Manson. 4 players come together there, and it's dug loose by Jeremy Roenick. Bouncing it back into the Minnesota end. Down to 8 minutes remaining. The Chicago lead has been cut to a pair. Berezan. Stopped by Troy Murray at center. Goulet the other way. Flipping it in. Now Larmer on the far side. Center. Goulet right in. Shoot. Casey keeps his team in the game again. As Goulet had him all by his lonesome. But Casey stoned him. Now behind the Hawk goal. Millen has had his goal stick shattered. Behind the net, the Hawks want to whistle, and they'll get one. As Millen tried to play the puck in traffic, his stick snapped on him, but the Hawks managed to freeze it. 7.5 for the third. Murphy gave it to Gagne. Now Aaron Broughton fails to get it in deep. And the Hawks bang it back to the neutral zone. Larry Murphy over the line, left it for Gagne, has room, fires, Millen the save, in traffic, good stop by Greg Millen, and the Hawks get it to center where Gilbert throws it in deep. Kurt Giles trying to clear, can't get it out, now has another chance, and rolls this one to the center ice area. Hawks dumping it right back in. Very rarely here in this third has Chicago carried the puck in. Whenever they get to the checkered red line, they're getting it in there deep whenever possible.
20-second shifts, that's about it. 30 max.
Wilkinson bouncing it into the Hawk zone. Manson clearing it right back out. Goulet meeting Larmer at center. He puts it to Roenick over the line. Roenick cutting in, shoots one. He shot it wide. All the way back into the Hawk zone is Wilson. Got it to center, but Goulet accepts a 2-line pass and a whistle. 6 minutes to go in the third. 4-2 Chicago. Broughton, Dowland, and Duchesne for the North Stars. Troy Murray with Lemieux and Gilbert for the Blackhawks. Back of the Chicago net, Wilson. Leaves it to Bob Murray. Tips it up the boards into the Minnesota zone. Chambers back for it. Chambers goes down behind the net, now able to clear it. The left wing boards, and Duchesne put it to center, a 2-line pass accepted by Broughton, and the whistle sounds. The broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Channel America and WBBM Radio by the Chicago Blackhawks, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the consent of Sports Channel America or WBBM in Chicago is prohibited.
Well, this is the 6th time the North Stars in their 15 years in the playoffs they've had a 7th game. They're 3-2 coming into tonight's action. And the Blackhawks, their 7th time. They're 2-4 coming into tonight's action. The last time they played a 7th game in a series was 19 years ago when they lost to the Canadiens in the 7th game of the finals.
What a game that was. Chicago had a 2-0 lead over Montreal in the 7th game of the final. And the Hawks came down, hit the crossbar. I think that was Bobby Hull, right? Hit the crossbar. Almost made it 3-zip. Montreal came back the other way, and a shot from past the center ice red line went in. Here's Aaron Broughton, a shot. Rebound off the end board. Millen able to freeze it.
Jacques Lemaire let one go. It was a bit foggy and turned the whole game around. Then Henry Richard tied it up and scored in overtime. Still, though, some anxious moments here in Game 7. A long way from over. That shot just barely deflected. hit the end boards, came out in front. Millen sat on it. Dahlin was right there in front. We talked about he's an unusual Swede in the fact that he's good along the corners, along the boards, and in front of the net. He has good balance, and he moves the puck extremely well with his feet. I bet he was an excellent soccer player, as most of those European hockey players are. They train probably in the off-season playing soccer. But he's not the prototype Swede, the high-flying Swede. He's a mucker type. He almost deflected that one in for a second goal of the playoffs and second goal of the period.
Jack Ferreira was roundly criticized in Minnesota when he made the trade, Dahlin for Mike Gardner, and Ferreira stood by his guns. He said, hey, individually their skill levels may be different, and maybe Mike Gardner overall might do more things for you offensively. I think we'll be a better team without Dahlin, and the record proves him right.
Plus, he's a lot younger.
The draw cleared to center. Chambers there, dumping it into the Hawk zone, and Wilson is on it. Around the board, Murphy can't hold it in. Here's a 2-on-1. Troy Murray with Gilbert. Murray cuts for the net. Now the shot. Casey the save. Rebound into the far corner. And Bellows dug it out of there to Chambers. Back to Bellows on the move at center. Pushed it to Murphy over the line. Murphy weaving to the near side, then his pass deflected off of Yanni. Gathered in by Bellows, though, then he's knocked off the puck by Thomas, and out comes Creighton. 3-on-2 to the line. Murphy, a nice poke check, then Thomas carried on, shoots, and Searin blocked the shot. Now, we have under 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Here's Presley with 2 goals in the game. Centered one, Yanni, big save by Casey. And the North Stars will not die because John Casey keeps them alive. 4.5 left in the third. 4-2 Chicago.
Play from Wayne Presley, the one-timer by Trent Yanni, who snuck in. Casey again, terrific save. He stopped Goulet from point-blank range earlier. Dealt from the crossbar and a Ronan chant.
There's the draw. Bouncing around on the near board, and Goulet dug it out. However, a hand pass ruled here against Chicago. There's one other oddity that you mentioned. The Blackhawks have played 6 previous 7th games in different series over the years. This is the first time in 19 years it's happened. And they're 2-4 in the previous 6. They've never won a 7th game at home. The Hawks in Chicago Stadium are 0-2 in 7th games. So if they can hang on for the next 4 minutes, this would be the first time they've won at home with a 7th game opportunity. But Wilkinson now with a long shot. Millen makes the save. Rebound to Tenorti. And another save by Millen. And here comes Goulet back the other way. Golfs it into the North Star zone. Tenorti got bumped by Larmer, and here's Duchesne picking it up. Now it's cleared to center. Conroy dumping it back in there. Tenorti got knocked down, but got help from Chambers behind the net. Now to the far side, it's held in by Yanni at the line. And he shot it up over the glass and into the crowd.
Greg Millen has responded extremely well. Every game he's been pulled in, he's bounced back the next game and played marvelously. 2 key saves there on 2 high shots. Fortunately, Millen's a stand-up goaltender. Made the first one and deflected off his right arm. Stood up and on the rebound was able to deflect it away with the same type save.
Greg Millen said before the game tonight that in his memory, he had only been pulled in his career twice previous to coming to Chicago. 2 times in all the years he's been in the league, and he comes to the Hawks. He's been pulled 3 times in this series, so he did accept it in a classy manner the first time, and we've pointed out previously that the last 2 times he's been pulled, he was less than happy with those decisions. But Dale pointed out the next game that he's played in, he's always come up with very strong performances, and tonight is no different. Here's an icing call against the North Stars. 3:19 left in the third. 4-2 Chicago. And here's an icing call against Chicago. And are you as surprised as I am that the Minnesota line at the moment is Neil Broughton with Churla and McRae needing 2 goals with just 3 minutes left?
Well, I'm surprised Paget, who came into this series talking about the Blackhawks being the most penalized team. They were in the middle. They were the Angels in all the altercations over the year. The pre-game brawl. And he was really, I think, trying to get the officials on his side, really. And a lot of mind games going on as far as conversation in the media. Take them long to get those two guys off the ice. Now with face-off now being ruled that it was an icing, it looked like it might have been a regulation dump in, but they ruled otherwise. And the face-off now deep in the Hawks zone. It comes down to very important face-offs. Who wins them? Get out of situations defensively. If you win them offensively, it gets some good scoring chances and a chance to get back into the game.
Neil Broughton and Troy Murray get ready for the draw. The other thing Paget has to consider, when do you think about pulling a goaltender here? Down to 3 minutes left. This obviously too early, but do you run it all the way down to a minute and a half or so?
Well, exactly. He's hoping they can score before that time. Then his option, of course, changes, but it depends on what happens here. Still 3.5 to go, which will seem like an eternity.
Here's the draw to Troy Murray. Racing in with Lemieux. Gave it to him. Lemieux right in. Casey, a diving poke check, prevented a shot. Now Gilbert a chance, deflected over top of the net. Gilbert again, shoots, he scores! Ron Gilbert picked up his own rebound off the end board and shoveled in a backhander. And the Hawks are going to the second round to beat the Blues. It's 5-2 Chicago.
Hawks win the draw. They bank it off the near boards. Troy Murray picks it up. Lemieux with a full head of steam beats his check. Bellows. He tries to make a move. Casey deflects it, but Lemieux continues to work. Bellows turns it back to him. The pass out to Gilbert. He shot it high and wide. It hit a partition, came out front, and he tucked the back in under Casey to give the Hawks a 3-goal cushion with 2:50 to go in the third period. Greg Gilbert, 4th goal of the playoffs.
Presley, who scored only 6 goals all year, has 5 in this series. Gilbert, who scored only 12 goals all year, has 4 in this series. And it's 5-2 Chicago as Wilson bounces it into the North Star zone. Wilkinson cleared it into the Chicago end. Yanni backcourt. Around the boards, Goulet deflects it out to Roenick. And now it's center. Dallin gave it to Martinordi. Now Gagne hit on Yanni, trying to center it. Nobody home from Minnesota. Manson gave it to Larmer on the right wing boards. Cleared it to center. Here's another 2-on-1. Creighton in with Goulet. Gave it to him. Goulet. It bounced over his stick and he couldn't get any lumber on it. We're down to 2 minutes left. Murphy into the Blackhawks zone. Centered one. Gagne had nowhere to go with it. Now his pass is stolen. And Presley with a chance for a hat trick. Now peels off. And Sheeran takes it away. His pass intercepted by Steve Thompson. He dumps it in. A minute and a half remaining. Now along the far side, the players look like they think the whistle's blown, and I don't think it has. The clock continues to run. Finally, Sheeran dug it out. They're on their feet in the stadium. Almost 18,000 announced, and not one of them is seated. Not one of them is left. They're from throwing some debris on the ice, which a couple of knuckleheads have done.
The Blackhawks will open the Best of 7 series Wednesday night.
And game 1 on Wednesday night here in Chicago Stadium. Chicago against St. Louis.
Game E on your playoff tickets Wednesday night here against St. Louis.
15 seconds left. Here's the draw. Bouncing around at center. Neil Broughton dumps it in. Millen gloves it, throws it to the corner. You can hear him counting down. Hawks win. But the Chicago Blackhawks, favored by most people heavily in this series, go through a 7-game struggle to eliminate the Minnesota North Stars. And now the traditional series-ending handshake between the two teams. The regular season series often was nasty, ranging from nasty to brutal. In the postseason, it wasn't much different. Hard fought. There wasn't nearly as much of the extracurricular nonsense as there was in the regular season. But these teams fought tooth and nail through 7 grinding games.
Well, the North Stars gave the Blackhawks everything they could handle. They started off in game 1, knocked them off here in an upset in the first game, had them 3-0 in game 2, and the Hawks battled back. And the North Stars came back in game 4 with a classic performance, evening the series. And they were dominated in game 5, but they battled back and dominated in game 6. And they had a wonderful shot here with a 1-0 lead after 1 period of play and a 2.5-minute power play to start the second with Savard and Brown being ejected. The Hawks somehow dug deep and scored 4 unanswered goals in the second period and protected the lead as they've done all season long in the third period. A few dangerous moments when Dolan scored. But an excellent effort by the North Stars and good character shown by the Blackhawks, who were frustrated the entire series.
Now Greg Millen, the late season acquisition, will now, in the ultimate irony, go to face the team that got rid of him earlier this season, the St. Louis Blues. And I'll tell you, not to be outdone at the other end of the ice. I think John Casey was probably the most valuable player for Minnesota. And you could tell in the post-game handshakes how much respect the Chicago team had gained for John Casey. He really was an outstanding performer all the way through this 7-game battle. Now in the third period, 10 shots on goal for the North Stars, 7 for Chicago, 33-32 the final total favoring the Blackhawks. 1 goal each way in the period. Dowland from Murphy and Tenorti got Minnesota close at 9:58. The icing on the cake, though, provided by Greg Gilbert, his 4th goal of the series from Lemieux and Troy Murray at 17:10. So the Blackhawks happy, probably a little bit relieved that they will head into second round action, but they won't have much time to enjoy this as the St. Louis Blues are rested, they're waiting, and they will be in this rink on Wednesday night to open up the Norris Division Finals, and Greg Millen will, in the ultimate irony, face his ex-teammates. We're going to hear from Mike Keenan, we hope, in a few minutes. Be a lot easier than it turned out to be, but you certainly have to give full marks to the Minnesota North Stars. Pierre Paget has started, and Jack Ferreira have really started their program and have gotten them on the right track.
Well, that's for sure. They started off, finished the season extremely well in their drive for the last playoff spot with only 4 losses in their last 13 or 14 games. Came in here in game 1 and upset the Blackhawks, and that really gave them the impetus to have a good series. And in game 2, they had a 3-0 lead on 3 straight power play goals, and it looked like it was going to be a tough series for the Blackhawks, but an up and down series. The North Stars would win 1, the Blackhawks would come back and win a couple, and then neither team really consistent on given nights, but an exciting finish to it. And the Blackhawks down 1-0 early in the first period, came back with Brown and Savard being ejected from the game. 5-minute majors added to those penalties, and the Hawk penalty killing, which was superb in the regular season, really bailed out their power play in this series. But somehow they found a way to win and had a great finish in the great second period from Presley and Roenick and the rest of the team, who really turned a negative into a positive. And you touched upon it at the end of the first period, that it might be a positive factor for them, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, the Blackhawks now are looking forward to meeting the St. Louis Blues, and that is always a dogfight whenever these two teams get together. Before we get to that, Jeremy Roenick had a very big part in this Chicago turnaround here in this game. He scored 2 goals in the second period, and I thought we were going to have a look, but we're not. Oh, there's Jeremy. Hey, JR.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Dale. How you doing?
Hey, you had him right where you wanted him, right down 1-0. You lose Savvy, you lose Keith Brown, and somehow, tell me about the first intermission. You guys were down 2 men for the longest time, killed that off, and it seemed like that played a big part in turning the momentum of this game around.
Yeah, well, that was a major part of the whole game. We really had to work really hard and stay disciplined to kill off the 5-minute 2-men disadvantage, and I think the guys did a great job on the first one to get Brownies out of there, and they just played really great. And you got to give all the credit to every guy in the team. They really put forth one solid effort. And,
JR, I hope you can see your goals here. Talk us through these if you can.
Well, the first one, I came around and tried to stuff it by Casey, but it just went wide, and then I guess Berezan came out, and I stayed with it and just came in and just kept whacking at it. It just happened to go right through. I don't know how it stayed in there, but it just went in, and can't say anything about it. It was great.
All right,
and this one, Larmer made a great play for me right into the slot, and I just got it and let it go, and it just happened to go upstairs. And it was just a great play by Larms to get me the puck there, and the rest was up to me. And
JR, we're just about out of time, but a great game tonight, an excellent series for you. You ever had this much fun in hockey?
Oh, not too much. And I'd like to say thanks to all the guys and Wayne Presley and just everybody. Just played a fantastic game tonight, and really proud of everybody.
Well, you should be, and you should be proud of yourself, too. We'll see you Wednesday night.
All right, guys.
The Blackhawks move on to second round action. Wednesday night, game 1 here in Chicago Stadium against the St. Louis Blues. We'll have it at 7:30 Central Time on.
That wins this game. I'm going to be the guy that dominates in this type of pressure. I'm going to be the man that's going to make the difference. And those guys are around. I mean, we might see a new one of them tonight.
The 1988 Wales Conference finale will always be remembered for this money play. Craig Janney's jump for joy.
Craig Janney stole from Danica, went in, fake Burke, and made it 4-2.
So who among tonight's Game 7 players will be the one to answer the call, if he indeed hasn't already, to come on down? The price is right. Let's do some healthy speculating. So far, Dave Poulin has been minding the Bruins' money store in this series.
The guy's in terrific shape and just keeps driving. I don't know where he finds it from, but he does. He digs down and puts it into overdrive.
It certainly is nice to be thought of in that way, but tonight we're going to need 20 guys, and whether they're big shift or shifts may come early in the game at some pivotal point that doesn't look like it at the time, we need everybody going, and we need 20 guys to contribute whatever they may tonight.